Great setting, shadow of downtown Atlanta, the very collegiate feel of Georgia Tech's campus. And Clemson's in town on a whiteout. The fans are ready. Yellow Jackets will be wearing their all white. And Clemson will be rocking purple power. These rivalries go back to a couple centuries ago. And welcome to Thursday Night Football. Chris Fowler, Craig James, Jesse Palmer. Great to be back with you guys this week. Well, Monday night in the ACC, a couple contenders hooked up in Miami, had that thrilling win up at Florida State. Potential for the same kind of thing here tonight because these teams are evenly matched. The games always come down to a late touchdown or a big defensive stand. And I think both these teams believe they can win this conference this season. And Craig, both of them have great running backs.
Well, now I heard you say C.J. Spiller is a Heisman candidate. Why isn't Jonathan Dwyer at Georgia Tech?
They both are.
He's a great runner, man. The ACC Player of the Year in 2008, 1,400 yards. This young man, when he gets the football, he can take it the distance every single snap because there's a lot of arm tackling that takes place against Georgia Tech's offense. 9 different times last season, he rushed for 100 yards in a game. Make no mistake about it. This guy is very good, very talented. And the other Heisman candidate, C.J. Spiller, he's not too bad either.
Well, Clemson's answer to Jonathan Dwyer is C.J. Spiller, and he is one of the most electrifying players in all of college football. He is not just a weapon on offense. He can hurt you in the return game as well. C.J. Spiller got off to a great start last week, returning the opening kickoff 96 yards for a touchdown against Middle Tennessee. Now, he did get hurt in the second quarter of that game on a punt return, stubbed his big left toe, subsequently did not return to action. C.J. Spiller has told us this week he's fine, he's ready to go. That's good news for Clemson. They will need his versatility here tonight.
So the Ramblin' Wreck rolling toward a collision with the Clemson Tigers. A good one coming up in the ACC. We look forward to having you join us. But now to Reese Davis and the gang in the studio. And an early high-stakes game in the always crazy ACC race. The finish last year was pretty crazy in Clemson. A late touchdown pass. Josh Nesbitt to Bebe Thomas. He beats Chris Chancellor, I should say. The Jackets spoiled the debut of then interim head coach Dabo Swinney, 21-17. And it always seems to come down to that kind of a finish when these two teams meet. Clemson in the all-purple on the road for the first time ever. Occasionally they'll break those out. Looking for a little motivational ploy against Paul Johnson in year number 2, running the option here in Atlanta. Carries a chip on his shoulder, and we'll explain that coming up. Aaron Andrews on the field with his counterpart, Dabo Swinney.
Chris, thanks so much, Coach. Hey, 2 games into the season, your running back C.J. Spiller said tonight's game is a measuring point for your team.
Well,
what would you?
It is. You know, we had a good opener last week, non-conference. This is the first conference game in a tough environment on the road. So we'll find out a little bit about where we are right now as a team.
And a short week to prepare for that option offense. So what is the biggest key for your defense?
Well, defensively, we got to tackle. We got to play the pitch, the dive, the quarterback. We got to play the cut blocks, and we got to tackle. It's all about tackling.
All right, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, Chris.
Aaron, I appreciate it. 40 years old. Dabo Swinney, very youthful staff here. A breath of fresh air for Clemson. 76 degrees. About a 30% chance of rain tonight. There are localized showers. We hope they'll stay away. Georgia Tech will kick off to start this game, and it means the very dangerous return team of Spiller and Jacoby Ford. Both guys world-class speed.
There's no question. People wonder if this is the fastest duo in all of college football. You look at Jacoby Ford. He won the indoor 60-meter dash this past spring. He's run a personal best in the 100 meters, 10.01. That is world-class speed. You look at both these guys, it is unbelievable.
That would have put him 7th at the Olympics if he ran a 10.01.
Well, Dabo Swinney's talking about tackling by his defense. Georgia Tech special teams and their kick coverage better be tackling tonight, or you're going to see that speed.
And Johnson, he's a stubborn old country boy, says we're going to kick it to him and cover it. No gimmicks, at least that's what he told us. We'll see. Kick it away from Spiller toward the corner, and it goes out of bounds. So the dangerous returner will create some good field position. Kyle Parker is the quarterback for Clemson, known mostly as a baseball player. He's a redshirt freshman with a huge arm on showcase tonight.
It's very impressive when you watch Kyle Parker play quarterback. He is a very gifted and very natural thrower of the football. And Craig, he's a much better athlete than a lot of people think as well.
As you well know, Jesse, if he doesn't have help up front tonight with his offensive line, it matters nothing what kind of talent that he has.
Decent game. Coaches praise his effort in the opener Saturday against Middle Tennessee State. That was at home. This is a step up in class and, of course, a road game in a rowdy atmosphere. But Parker has the ability, as coaches say, of being poised and calm because of all that baseball experience. So from the 40-yard line after the penalty on the kickoff, Clemson takes over. High formation pitch to Spiller. Has a little crease and a burst for about 4 yards. He is our impact player. C.J. Spiller closing in on 2,000 yards. He's the active career rushing leader in the ACC and also in all-purpose yards.
And Jacoby Ford, you mentioned him earlier with the speed, but tonight he needs to be a receiver. He needs to be disciplined and catch the football.
Middle linebacker Brandon May led the team in tackles last week. He is the most crucial part of defense tonight if they're to slow down Georgia Tech running the football.
Empty backfield, 4 wide on 2nd and 6, and now a shift as Spiller moves back to the tailback position and takes a handoff. Hurdle a man at the line, and he has a first down into Ramblin' Wreck territory.
Last season, we had Wake Forest and Clemson, and at that point in the season, the offensive line was a real question mark for this Clemson football team. Look at the jerseys fitting on there and the running lane.
There is such an advantage in this football game for Clemson up front. They easily outweigh this smaller Georgia Tech D-line.
So 12 yards on 2 carries. Spiller gets a breather, and here comes Jamie Harper at tailback. Harper, sophomore from Jacksonville, plows for a short gain. Brad Jefferson, the middle linebacker, on the tackle.
We're talking about the size advantage of Clemson up front on the offensive line. At the lightest point, they're 25 pounds heavier than their opponent across the ball. At the heaviest point, Clemson's players are 65 pounds heavier than their opponents across the ball. The dominance up front tonight for Clemson has to demonstrate itself for them to be successful.
It's a pretty lean defensive line. You see a brace tossed away by one of the linemen, and now there's a scramble on the field to get it off in time. Parker, incomplete, bobbled by Gerard Tarrant on the breakup there. He is the dangerous corner. Yeah, the kick returner extraordinaire, too.
Let's stay with this theme now, the offensive line for a moment. Brad Scott, former head coach at South Carolina. He's the O-line coach, center and the guard specifically. He's worked really hard with this unit. That was a mixed match last year, a lot of different combinations. He said, we're finally together. Let's see if we can play together.
And Spiller at the bottom of the formation now on 3rd and 7. Jackets show pressure, rush 5, pump fake. Parker delivers, and it's broken up. Morgan Burnett, the rover, dove in, got a hand on it. A flag is down. Burnett showing why he has 11 career interceptions. Nose for the ball. Clemson says it's a penalty on Georgia Tech. Tom Zamorski, a referee tonight.
Offsides against the defense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
We'll make it 3rd and 2.
We talked to Billy Napier, the offensive coordinator at Clemson, and he said one of the keys was keeping these 3rd downs manageable. One guy Clemson's going to have their eye on all game is Georgia Tech defensive end Derek Morgan. He is one of the best pass rushers in the entire country, and they're going to have their hands full with him tonight.
There he is, Jesse, right up there. He's a heck of a player. Fast.
We got a power formation, and Spiller off the left side. It'll be close at the 38. Put his nose down. He was met there by Robert Hall and Tarrant. And looks like we need about a half a yard. So a decision for Dabo Swinney. And he says, let's go. This is Spiller, and he's stopped in the backfield. Derek Morgan, the All-American candidate at defensive end, makes the first big play of the night.
Derek Morgan is one of the more versatile players on defense for Georgia Tech. You will see him lined up all over the football field tonight. He's going to be lined up here on the outside where Craig showed earlier. Just gets great penetration with pad level. He's able to stay low, knife his way through the line, and make a stop on the very dangerous C.J. Spiller.
Going against Corey Lambert, 76, right tackle. He's a senior. He's got to get more legs into Derek Morgan, or it's going to be a long night.
There's some serious leg strength. He was getting held and just drove through. So the Jackets take over, and a first down throw is Nesbitt. Looks for Bebe Thomas down the field, and it's intercepted by DeAndre McDaniel. McDaniel loses the football. Now a scrum at the 45. And Clemson gets it back. So Johnson goes up top on first down. McDaniel, his second interception on the young season, fumbled, and Brandon May, the linebacker, got it.
I think what we're going to see here is a late throw by Josh Nesbitt. He's got the secondary up and everybody there. And Jesse, when you look at it as a quarterback, you have to get the ball down there with more velocity. You can't put the air under it that allowed McDaniel to run there.
Well, the key here as well is he has to lead his wide receiver outside. That football was too far inside. It was bending Demarius Thomas back in where all the traffic was. Give DeAndre McDaniel a lot of credit for making a tough catch, but you have to secure the football on the return.
You got 23 yards on the return, Jesse. So Tigers set up at the 45. Spiller carrying the load early. Spins away from a tackler. That's a hard-earned 2 yards.
One of the things I really like about this Clemson offense is that they're very, very multiple. They have a lot of different personnel. They're going to line up in a lot of different formations. They'll shift, they'll motion. They're going to try to confuse the Georgia Tech defense. This is a big test for Georgia Tech tonight to be able to line up properly each and every snap.
Spiller wanted touches, coming back for his senior year, 5 already tonight. He motions out. Parker from the gun fires to him on the far side. His knee hits the ground just inside Tech territory.
And to continue on with that thought, Jesse, this Georgia Tech defense, they've had good tutors around here. They now have Dave Womack, their defensive coordinator, for the second year in a row. So again, you've got some guys back there that are starting to communicate. They're a little more aggressive. They'll do a few more things this season than they did last year, which will be a problem for Clemson's offensive line to see if they can pick it up.
Need a long 4 on third down. Spiller to the bottom of the formation, and a penalty. Jumping offside there was the tight end Michael Palmer. And they'll push him back, make it not quite as manageable on third down.
Snap infraction against the center, number 62. Hard penalty, still third down.
It's Mason Cloy, not Palmer, guilty of the penalty. Need almost a full 10 yards on this third down. Parker flushed. He shows that arm strength. The low ball is caught by Terrence Ash, but not enough for a first down.
Just made the mention that Dave Womack will change it up. He'll give you a different look all the time. That time he came with 6-2 from the outside, and it forced the young quarterback out of the pocket.
One thing Dave Womack told us was although they have a lot of veterans gone off this defense, there's a lot of young guys, this is a more athletic, faster defense than they were a year ago. You saw a good example of it right there.
So the 5-yard penalty hurts the Tigers, and they fail to cash in on the interception return. Dawson Zimmerman to punt, and Tarrant is back deep. Man, it took a punt back against Jacksonville State in the opener. Calls for a fair catch at the 18. So Georgia Tech back on offense, and Nesbitt tries to shake off the pick. Sports giving you a little taste of what you'll see. So the opening play last week in the opener, Dwyer goes 74 yards for a touchdown. Tonight, an interception, and we expect that they'll get back to running the option very quickly here. They do. Nesbitt keeps it on the edge and the pitch. Anthony Allen, the transfer from Louisville, down the sidelines. They can strike quickly. Welcome to the mix, Mr. Allen, a talented stable of backs here. It's not just Jonathan Dwyer. 82 yards. It's a big play offense, even though it's an option offense. Scott Blair adds the point after. So a couple of big stops by the Jackets defense, keeping the game scoreless, and then that changes in a hurry. Nesbitt, the pitch to Allen, and look at the big man at 231, find the edge.
You see everybody jumping on the inside. Jonathan Dwyer, they wanted to make sure Dwyer didn't go 76 on him.
They've got a few weapons here in Atlanta. Bobby Dodd Stadium rocking. Jackets have run 2 plays, an interception, and an 82-yard touchdown run by Anthony Allen. Can't understate the importance, though, of that big stop on 4th down against Spiller, and then the stop after Clemson had great field position following that interception. Blair boots it high. Spiller will have a chance. Has a crease. And it's Blair who finally runs him out, but the Tigers will set up at the 42-yard line. The option is a thing of beauty when it's well executed.
You'll see great blocks on the perimeter here. You're going to see Demarius Thomas come out of the box. He's going to get a blow-up shot on Marcus Gilchrist. Roddy Jones right here will then lead the way up and get a nice cut block on Chris Chancellor.
Boom.
And keep this in mind, last week in the opening game, Clemson didn't go with a base defense. 3 of the linebackers on the field right there are on the field for the first time together this season. So it's a first-time game for this Clemson defense.
They were in dime against Middle Tennessee almost every single snap. After the kickoff return, a breather for Spiller and Jamie Harper. They fake it to him. This is the first touch for Jacoby Ford, and they're all over him. Tarrant joined by Cedric Griffin on the tackle.
You know, and Jesse, the reason that Clemson defense wasn't together last week is they had an open-up offense they were going against. So that's going to be a challenge for Kevin Steele, the defensive coordinator, right now to make the adjustments.
Well, there's players and great players on the Clemson side of the football. Cavell Connor led the team in tackles last year playing outside linebacker. He didn't play one defensive snap last week. Tonight is his first action. You saw him get caught up in the wad inside.
2nd and 9, Ash in motion. This is Harper. Not much. Craig, you talked about it. It's not a very beefy defensive line, but good quickness on this defense.
A smart defense that communicates well, and you see that they're really uptight against this run, Jesse. It's going to open up a passing game.
Well, Chris, you mentioned it earlier. They've done great tonight so far in sudden change situations. Big stop on 4th down. After the pick, get the ball back for their offense, which leads to a big play touchdown. They're playing big-time football tonight.
They need 7 on this 3rd down. Parker pointing out where he thinks the pressure is coming from, and he's right. They pick it up. Parker delivers a strike and a 1st down catch for Terrence Ash. Only played his 2nd football game with the quarterback there. Jesse saw where the pressure was coming from.
He shows a lot of poise for a guy who's only in his 2nd collegiate football game. Points out where the pressure is coming from, knows it's all blocked up, delivers a strike, and anticipates that throw before his wide receiver Terrence Ash is even turned around.
Parker scampers out and now just throws it away. Good coverage downfield.
And you know what? I like the vision of Parker because on that previous throw that was successful, he saw the fire zone. There was a drop into the middle of the field. They took away the middle of the field at Georgia Tech, so he recognized his receiver who was going to be open.
There's going to be a chess match here tonight between defensive coordinator Dave Womack and quarterback Kyle Parker. Dave Womack does not have the same defensive line he had a year ago. He has to dial up pressure from the secondary level. A little option look, and this is Andre Ellington.
Driven out by Cooper Taylor. Got about 5.
You know, when I watched this running back group last week against Middle Tennessee, I actually thought they looked really good. They have a lot of versatility. They can rotate different guys in. I really like the lineup with C.J. Spiller, Jamie Harper, and Andre Ellington. I would argue they could be more productive than they were when they had James Davis playing last year.
Well, certainly Spiller getting a lot more of the workload. On 3rd and 5, a high throw incomplete. Trying to rifle the pass to Jacoby Ford, but at 5'10", he couldn't get up there and get it. So now a decision here. What do you think? 4th and 5 in Georgia Tech territory.
You know, being
go for it, punt him deep.
I punt it, I pin him, play field position right now.
You know the defense is rested. They've only played 2 plays. There's an interception and a long touchdown, so that defensive unit's going to be ready to go.
Yeah, they'll punt it. Richard Jackson is the junior. Excuse me, Dawson Zimmerman. Oh, Jackson he's the kicker, but bring him in to try a very long field goal here, a 56-yarder. Clock running down. They better hurry or call a timeout.
Clemson. It's their first charge timeout of the half. 30-second timeout.
Didn't expect a 57-yard field goal attempt. He hasn't shown this kind of range. We'll see if they follow through after this timeout. Well, Richard Jackson, the Clemson kicker in high school, once made a 64-yarder, a South Carolina State record. In college, this is his first year kicking, made a 44-yarder last week. This from 57. He's also a punter, and they're going to pooch it down there. Georgia Tech was ready. And Tarrant is loose on the sidelines. Gerard Tarrant 2 weeks in a row to the house. Something tells me that's not what Dabo Swinney had in mind.
Well, I'm a pretty good lip reader as you are, and he said, why didn't you kick that ball out of bounds?
He just kind of poached it down there, and Tarrant ready for it. Shows why he's a breath of fresh air for our special teams that really struggled a year ago. Tech was not good at all, poor, in fact, in the return game, and now in back-to-back games, Tarrant has returned punts for touchdowns. Hadn't happened since 2003. So Clemson's had nothing but field position and opportunities, but they are coming up empty, and they are down by a couple of touchdowns in Atlanta. And he hurt his finger. Spiller deep. Clemson in a 14-point hole. This skip is taken by the up man, Ellington, and he plows straight ahead into traffic, and they'll take over at the 28-yard line. So they tried to fool the Jackets, but Tarrant was back ready to return the punt.
Give Georgia Tech special teams coaches a lot of credit for playing field goal return safe. They don't send everybody to block this kick. Instead, they have Gerard Tarrant back just in case to go for the pooch punt. Jonathan Dwyer talked to us this week about how freakish an athlete Gerard Tarrant is. He said he's one of the best athletes he's ever seen. In fact, he compared him to Chicago's Devin Hester. And you saw right there why.
Jackson getting the talking to from Swinney, but he is their kicker. You got to keep him there mentally. You might need him later. Parker pressured and sacked. Morgan again. Second big play.
It's called momentum. And old momentum at home is mighty hard to overcome if you're a visiting team. Top of the field there. The speed of which Derek Morgan comes off the top. He says, I'm a great pass rusher. I'm a get off at the snap guy.
It's going to be very difficult for Clemson to handle Derek Morgan tonight with only one player. They're going to have to use a tight end to help or use a running back to chip block to help. He's too fast off the edge.
Parker flips it out to Spiller. Keeping a close eye on number 28. He's been busy tonight, but Dominic Reese, the linebacker, there to force him out.
You know, you talk about Derek Morgan and having a chip block and all. Brad Scott, the offensive line coach, told me on the field 20 minutes ago. He said, we will have a special package of blocking. Chip to the back, somebody helping. One-on-one's not going to work.
Well, I got to think, if I'm right tackle Corey Lambert, I'm getting ready for a wide set every time I come out of my stance, because there's no question his explosiveness off the ball, we're talking about Derek Morgan, is just unbelievable.
They got to block him now on 3rd and 12. He gets around the edge. Parker gets it away. Karam intercepted. Cooper Taylor on the deflection. Everything going wrong for Clemson. It's not Middle Tennessee State, and you're not at home.
The one area that Dabo Swinney said this team had to grow up was at wide receiver. They had 4 big drops last week. It's been killing them so far early this year. A great throw by Kyle Parker. That's just non-concentration, and you see the disgust on Parker's face.
He felt Derek Morgan on his heels. He felt the heat coming. Of course, it's all on the receiver. You got to catch the football, Ash.
Nesbitt hands it off. Roddy Jones. Flag down as Jones muscles to the 31.
Number 20, Roddy Jones on the carry.
Holding, number 60, the offense. 10 yards from previous spot. Repeat first down.
Jones is a sophomore. He's the 3rd part of the 3-headed monster of backs here.
The coaching taking place on Clemson's side right now by Dabo Swinney and his staff has to be to try to settle down Kyle Parker in the offense and tell the receivers to make the plays, because if they don't, they're in trouble right now.
Well, Kyle Parker got off to a slow start last week, and it was because of a lot of drops. He started off 2 of 9. He had 4 drops early, and he even told us, he said, look, he got down a little bit early in that game. Here he is on the road, big test. They need to get him going, but he's played well so far.
Enough inside to Anthony Allen. Short gain on 1st and 20. We check back with Reese Davis in the studio.
All right, Chris, quarterfinal day at the U.S. Open. Rafael Nadal taking on Fernando Gonzalez. And Nadal, the 3rd seed, won the first set in a tie-break. Now, between sets, Nadal called for the trainer. Not sure exactly what was wrong. Right now, it is now 1-0 Nadal in the 2nd set. Just want to make sure you got that, Fowler. I knew you'd like it.
I love my tennis, Reese. I really do, but happen to be in this football stadium tonight with these guys.
Glad to have you.
2nd down, Nesbitt on the pitch. Get in the corner is big Jonathan Dwyer. Lowers the head, powers for a 1st down. .17 yards, and they make it look so easy when they execute well.
Fellas, this is pitch and catch. This is stealing here. Watch at the bottom of the screen how the angles are. You've got the block down again. You've got the kick out block. Everybody is great job blocking on the outside. There's just, it's like Clemson's just standing around waiting to get blocked.
Well, and Georgia Tech right now offensively is playing in great rhythm.
Thomas is an NFL-type receiver who's not afraid to throw his body around and make physical blocks. On the pitch, Dwyer has to collect it, and this time he's smothered. Good penetration. DeAndre McDaniel joining the defensive end Ricky Sapp in the backfield.
Well, and Ricky Sapp and the other defensive end, Daquan Bowers, both went to the same high school in Bamberg, South Carolina. They went to Bamberg Earhart. They had a bet coming into this game, which guy would have more tackles for loss. The loser has to pay dinner.
The Bamberg bookends, they call it.
That's right.
A couple of years apart, but 2 pretty good defensive ends coming out of the same high school.
Yeah.
I think we could have coached that defense.
They lose 4. So it's Lucas Cox in the backfield. They fake it to him. Nesbitt keeps it. Gains just a couple.
I think the beauty of Paul Johnson's spread option offense is that it forces the defense to play very disciplined football. And we heard Dabo Swinney talk at the beginning of the game about the importance of tackling in space. This spread option offense gets their playmakers in wide open areas. And as a defender, if you have any mental errors or you miss tackles in space, like what we saw with Anthony Allen earlier, it's 82 yards to the house.
This is the first 3rd down of the evening for the Jackets, and they need 13 yards. Nesbitt wants to go downfield. Thomas well covered, and it's going to be a diving interception attempt, and it's caught by Marcus Gilchrist. Athletic play if he did, in fact, keep his foot down. Again, looking for Thomas and Gilchrist. Easy time running that ball down. Too much air underneath it.
Too much air, but you know, again, he thinks he's throwing it away from everybody. Gilchrist, let's see if he taps that left foot.
Going back to that throw by Josh Nesbitt here, coaches will tell you, if in fact you are throwing the football away, make sure you throw it into the third level in the stands. You don't throw it in the corner of the end zone where you can give a defender a chance to make a play.
Gilchrist did not get that foot down.
Previous play under further review.
He kind of kept his leg extended, didn't tap the toe on the ground, so we'll see if his arm landed out of bounds before the toe hit.
Well, one thing that we talked about with Josh Nesbitt yesterday was how he worked on his mechanics of throwing the football and 7-on-7 this summer with his teammates. And this particular ball here, he just threw it down the field.
That is easy to tell from that angle.
It looks there as though the toe and the hand are almost touching simultaneously. Yeah. He does have possession. That's not the question.
Toe not down yet. Boom.
Hands down.
Hand
that's not.
Just before the toe, it looked
reversed.
like.
This play gets reversed. That'll be a big break for Georgia Tech. You know, it's so important as a quarterback when you're down on the 34-yard line going in, even though it is third down, you can't force footballs up. And I understand Demarius Thomas is 6'3", and you want to give him jump balls.
It looks to me like the hand down here, the foot not down here.
All right, so you got your first draw in.
Well, somebody had to draw it.
I know. Well,
you guys are over here chatting.
We're giving you an opening. We wanted you to jump on in there.
So if Nesbitt gets a break from the reversal of the call and will avoid an interception, he's thrown a pick at his only pass attempt so far, looking for Thomas both times. And you can tell the Clemson secondary, beaten a year ago up in their place, they got their eyes on number 8.
I love the thought behind these plays in Georgia Tech, using a big, tall receiver and a playmaker like Demarius Thomas, trying to get him involved downfield. It's just the throws have not been there, not the right type of throws.
It feels it's exactly right. It's almost like it's forced. You know, the first play of the game, you're expecting a run, which is when Georgia Tech and Paul Johnson's offense is effective throwing the football. You're up, you're playing the run. On that play there, they're thinking pass. They're back.
It was a bang-bang play, and the replay officials will be very careful.
Might be thinking about the clock time, where the line of scrimmage was.
If the call is reversed, it'll be 4th down for Georgia Tech. They'll have the ball at the Clemson 34. They don't have a long-distance kicker in Scott Blair, who's never made one longer than 40 yards in his career. They're a little methodical in this conference. Would you agree?
Yeah, they are right now. And I tell you what, if I'm over at Clemson's side right now, I've got my guys huddled up. I'm talking about, you know, let's refocus. This is going to be reversed here probably, guys. Let's get ready to go back out there. Let's do our job and get your team together. It's almost like you'd like to stretch again and start the game over. Take advantage of the downtime. That's what they're doing. Spiller, he's a leader, which they've asked him to step up this year, and since he's a senior, to be a leader.
After further review, the player did not come down inbounds with the ball. It's an incomplete pass. It'll be 4th down on the 34-yard line.
A bang-bang play. Very close, and a great effort by Gilchrist, but he just couldn't tap that left toe in the end zone.
Give the refs a lot of credit for making the right call. Now here you go with the big decision. If you're Georgia Tech, 4th down, 34-yard line, what are you doing?
That's out of field goal range.
Well, I'm one of these guys right now. I punt the ball and I make that freshman quarterback Kyle Parker wake up and do something. Field position, push him back, put pressure on him.
Now we're going to set up to try one. Blair. He's going to throw it. They got a fake, and they got Thomas wide open on the sidelines. No signal. Now touchdown. Clemson caught napping.
The mass confusion occurred during the substitution. They didn't account for Thomas during all of the changing that was taking place. They never saw number 8 staying on the field.
During the offensive plays, they kept a very close eye on him. On the fake field goal, they forgot about number 8. So after throwing a touchdown pass, Blair boots it through. And the Yellow Jackets with execution and trickery all over Clemson.
The special teams coordinator Jeff Monken sends on a late substitution. Clemson players, like you said, Craig, they just don't see Demarius Thomas lined up all the way outside. The ball gets directly snapped to the kicker, and I think everybody's thinking pooch punt, and all of a sudden there's Demarius Thomas all by himself down the sideline.
Paul Johnson and his coaching staff are outstanding. They've been around, done it a long time, and that's excellent coaching during the week. On many times, how many times did we hear a coach tell us, do this, it's a little trickery here, but we're going to run you in and out. And,
you know, guys, I got to tell you, though, he hadn't made a field goal in his career over 40 yards. So he has set up for a 51-yarder. Are you buying that it's going to be a field goal attempt?
Well, again, now, if Clemson had set up in field goal safe, like Georgia Tech had done earlier, they would have had a player on the back end that may have been able to break that play up down the sidelines.
8 offensive plays. Anthony Allen, the touchdown run. Tarrant, the punt return. Again, as Clemson tried to outfox the Jackets, but just outfox themselves. And now the fake field goal touchdown pass. That's a lot of stuff in one quarter, and all of it good for Tech. Some long faces in orange and purple tonight.
Yeah, but Dabo do.
You talk about getting rocked on the road.
Yeah.
This is a lot to recover from in your second college game for a redshirt freshman quarterback. Spiller will try to make a big play for Clemson. Right up the middle to about the 26. You guys going to be locked into the Fighting Irish and the Wolverines. Craig, you saw this Michigan team. How do you read that game Saturday?
Tate Forcier is the real deal as a quarterback. Denard Robinson, another true freshman quarterback, can dribble it around, pick it up, and run like Pat White. So the thing that I was most impressed with last week was Greg Robinson, the new defensive coordinator. Michigan's defense, they flew around. They shut down a very talented Tim Miller quarterback.
They'll need to be flying around with Clausen and those receivers coming at their place. Short gain for Spiller. Jamie Harper on the carry as we check in with Aaron Andrews.
Chris, CJ had mentioned how somebody needs to get over to Kyle Parker when he was on the sidelines and maybe coach him up, calm him down a little bit. CJ, I got to tell you, the whole time Kyle Parker was on the sidelines, nobody went near him. He sat on the bench by his wide receivers. Nobody talked to him. He didn't put a headset on. Even in that huddle, when the play was under review, nobody went near him. They just talked to the offensive lineman.
Interesting.
Can't put the pick on him, though. It's right off Ash's hands. On second down, Parker flips it near side. Jacoby Ford darts quickly across the 35. Cedric Griffin forcing him out. Got about 3.
This is a drive, I think, that will show the mettle of Dabo Swinney's Clemson team. You're down 21-0. It's the first quarter. You just have a fake field goal thrown for a touchdown on you. That can be so deflating. They have to answer right now on offense.
As a player, competitive player, and you've had yourself embarrassed in front of a national TV audience, if you don't stand up right now and get hair on your neck, you're not a player.
That was a year ago against Alabama. In this city, different stadium. They got punched in the mouth early and never really recovered against the Crimson Tide. Spiller in the backfield. Ash in motion, and now a whistle. You call a timeout.
Timeout. Clemson. 30-second timeout.
Keep the feeling it's still the first quarter, but the importance of trying to convert this and keep the ball away from the Jackets.
Well, this has been a complete game so far in this first quarter. Offensively, they found the explosive play with this 82-yard touchdown run by Anthony Allen. Defense has been stymieing offense. They've been sitting down, playing great, and sudden change. Special teams, though, to me, is really where Georgia Tech has made the difference.
And Dabo Swinney kind of messing around out there, not really going and punting the football, the fake field goal for the touchdown pass. Just a lot of toying with Clemson right now.
2 different kicker stories in the first quarter. Richard Jackson pooches the punt, gets into a dangerous return guy, then gets run over by 2 big guys. His counterpart Blair throws a touchdown pass.
And kickers are known to watch each other across the way, right? You know he'd like to go over and change helmets.
Poor Jackson, you wonder why he was shaking his pinky after that pooch punt. He got leveled trying to tackle Tarrant. So Parker scrambles and shows some good athletic ability as he gets a first down across the 40. This is a guy who was all ACC in the spring, in which he should have been a high school senior last year.
Yeah, he hits 12 home runs, 52 RBIs this past spring to help the team into the super regionals of the NCAA tournament. Right there, showing you his athleticism, getting the first down, and just trying to get some momentum back on this Clemson side.
He was a DH in baseball, but you can tell he's an athlete. Ford on the end around. Picks up about 4 as we check back with Reese.
All right, Chris, Sports Center right now. The Grizzlies officially introduced Allen Iverson. NBA front office sources tell ESPN.com's Mark Stein. 1-year deal worth $3.1 million. Apparently, they will expect him to practice. Rory Sabatini, Steve Marino share the first-round lead at the BMW Championship. Tiger 2 shots back. Sports Center after the game. Stay current. ESPN News.
All right, Reese, thank you. Second down. Parker fakes it to Spiller. Pressured again. Now fires along the sidelines and way over the head of Jacoby Ford. Cedric Griffin got loose to pressure him.
I go back to the offensive line and really how much hope they had in this unit this season against Georgia Tech's defensive line. The big size you mentioned earlier, Jesse. When you really want to get in the game, don't you go in there and you get in a fist fight and they get you back into it with a running game?
Well, sure, you have to really establish that dominance up front to really take the breath away out of this defense. But right now, you see Clemson trying to establish themselves in the passing game yet again now in 3rd and long.
Just 2 for 6 on 3rd down. He needs 6. Parker this time cannot escape, and Derek Morgan got him again. There are scouts from 22 different NFL teams here tonight, and Derek Morgan is putting on a show. Another big stop and a dominant first quarter for Georgia Tech. Give a salute to Jeff Monken, who's the special teams coach for Georgia Tech. Came from Navy with Johnson, and a good start for that unit for the Jackets tonight. Zimmerman to punt it away. Tarrant kind of quick to call a fair catch at the 23, and that's where Tech will take over. You're having a big night, son. Just forget the fair catch, take it and run.
Play at this point here, play safe.
And Spiller has been busy tonight, but they're all over him. 8 plays and 21 points, Craig.
That's a great average.
You think?
In my math class, that's a great average.
Usually we see the Jackets possessing the football with the option, grinding it out, getting lots of snaps. Haven't needed it tonight. Allen and Jones in the backfield. Along with Dwyer, who takes it up the middle. Doesn't look like much, but they get 5.
How about this? Let's step back just for a moment for Georgia Tech, who came off a demolished loss, terrible loss against LSU in their bowl game, right? And everybody was saying, well, they figured this offense out, right? This team may not be as good. Everybody's got tape on them. What do you think?
No, I don't think anybody's figured it out. I think LSU played a game and Georgia Tech having just beat Georgia was too high on themselves.
Here's the handoff. Broken tackle by Dwyer, and he gets across the 44-yard line. You want to make Paul Johnson mad, tell him that LSU provided the blueprint. Now this offense has been figured out in the second season. He'll get fired up.
This offensive line, they really do a lot of blocking down low, and so it allows running backs many times a chance to break arm tackles. And as strong as Dwyer is, he's going to do that.
Oh, and he's a great build for this style of offense. 6 feet tall, 235 pounds. He can stay low to the ground and pull defenders along with him.
He had the longest touchdown run in Jackets history a year ago, so he can also take it the distance. Nesbitt spinning for another nice first down game.
Well, this is something Josh Nesbitt has to do a great job of tonight. He has to take care of the football. He's going to carry the football a lot of times tonight. He put the ball on the ground 3 times last week against Jacksonville State. He's an outstanding runner, but he cannot hurt his football team. He has to keep that football tucked close inside.
Parker watching and hoping the deficit won't grow bigger by the next time he gets the football. And they pitch it to Jones, who came in motion. Roddy Jones banging off defenders down near the 40. Easily a first down.
Well, Kevin Steele, the defensive coordinator at Clemson's got a tough challenge this week. And, you know, he told us in our meetings, he's teaching his guys ready, aim, fire. Not ready, fire, aim. And I think we've seen, be responsible. And, you know, these guys just haven't gotten it done tonight.
Well, defensively, Clemson is very athletic, and they play very fast. He said that's not always the best thing when you're playing against a spread option. You have to see where the ball is, then go make the tackle.
So don't fire before you aim.
Exactly.
This is Allen. Anthony Allen spinning, still on his feet. So you got the ACC Player of the Year coming back at Jonathan Dwyer. Let's just throw in Anthony Allen over from Louisville.
Georgia Tech was so dangerous last year when they had Jonathan Dwyer and Roddy Jones. Now you bring in Anthony Allen, who really is the same type runner as Jonathan Dwyer. You see the power. You cannot tackle him high. With Anthony Allen now, this is as deep as Georgia Tech has been at running back in a lot of years. This is an outstanding running back unit.
How about Josh Nesbitt, the quarterback, getting down there, pushing him another 6, 7, 8 yards?
Lucas Cox into the ball game. This is Dwyer ahead for nothing on 1st and goal. Boy, for Clemson, do you think about making a stand here? I mean, you get down 28-0.
It's absolutely,
You're really in trouble.
It's absolutely critical. But, you know, you feel for Kevin Steele. He had 4 days to prepare for spread option offense. Really only 2 of those days they could play full speed. That's a tough deal.
I hear you on that, but let's back up a little bit. Now, he did tell us during camp they went 2/3 of their time focusing on this offense. They worked on it back in the spring. So his players are doing way too much aiming and no firing. You know, they're watching the game.
Excuses, no short week. They should have been ready. This is Dwyer on the edge, finding the block of Allen, getting to the 5. McDaniel there.
You think of some of the other difficulties when preparing for a spread option team, the cut blocks up front on the offensive line. When you're practicing, you can't have your own players chopping you at the knees. So Kevin Steele said they were trying to throw bags at their players, medicine balls, and anything they could to simulate what they would see tonight. And so far, Craig, it doesn't look like they've been ready for it.
It's a great example of how you can't simulate game time, and especially those blocks.
Is a medicine ball like a 270-pounder? Diving at those knees?
I wanted to ask, what is a sandbag, 10 pounds, 5 pounds? What is it?
Well, they're a little bit shorter also.
3rd and goal. Good job on Jones there. He's dropped for a loss. Penetration from Ricky Sapp. His 2nd tackle behind the line.
Well, first time you said his name, isn't it, Chris? Ricky Sapp. You know, one of those guys, those bookend players, you really, you know, hats off. Now, Clemson, they get a win out of this thing just forcing a field goal.
When their back was on the wall, they finally made a stand. They were getting gashed all the way down the field. Here they are in the red zone. They make a stand. They're hoping to come away with this thing with only 3 points.
Here's the touchdown passer back in the game. He's a very, very accurate chip shot field goal guy. You can see only missed 1 in his career inside 40. And Scott Blair able to nail it from 24. A small victory for Clemson to keep Tech out of the end zone, but the lead grows to 24.
Hey, Dad, did you pick me at a cell phone?
Cell walls are thicker than...
Like all the jolly good fellows, I drink my whiskey clear. I'm a rambling wreck from Georgia Tech and a hell of an engineer.
I love it. It's my favorite fight song. We thank the Glee Club. So politically incorrect. We're talking about whiskey and rum, and they say go to hell Georgia at the end, so they get a shot at their rival. It's got everything you want in a fight song. It's good. They booted short. Spiller doesn't have a chance, but Jacoby Ford, the other speedster, run out across the 35-yard line. You guys ready for the Affleck trivia question? Don't blurt out the answer if you know it. Give the viewers a chance. What coach has the highest winning percentage in both Clemson football and Georgia Tech football history? You raising your hand? Don't answer.
I got it.
Okay.
I guarantee everybody at home has heard of this person.
Right. Don't give any more hints.
That's all I'm going to say.
Well, desperation time now for Kyle Parker and this Clemson offense. Feel they need something positive to happen soon. And they'll throw downfield. And a man wide open is Spiller. They're not going to catch him. That's a good start. 63 yards. He beat Cooper Taylor.
I was just going to say, if you're Billy Napier, the offensive coordinator at Clemson, down 24-0, you got to get the ball in the hands of your playmakers, with guys who have speed, and that means C.J. Spiller and Jacoby Ford.
Watch it here. You're going to see a wheel route up and go. Linebacker and Taylor bid on it. And that's a great throw by the young freshman Parker. But, you know, when you're in a game like this and you've got speed out there, you can have quick strike ability. You're not out of the football game.
And you got a 10, 100-meter guy. Forget about catching him. Just getting it through there is Jackson. So Spiller with the explosive play. Good call, good throw. Still a big lead for Georgia Tech. And they stop the Jackets offense. We'll find out.
We passed the car, though, coming over, didn't we? In the traffic, we saw this car.
We saw a car like it. I don't know if it was the Ramblin' Wreck.
How many can there be like that?
How many are there? You're right.
Yeah. I know we'd like one.
Spencer Benton now. Boots it deep. Orwin Smith is a true freshman. And he dives for the 25. Like this block of the touchdown pass, Greg?
Watch the pass protection here by 265-pound fullback Rendrick Taylor at the top of your screen. Cedric Griffin, the outside linebacker, is going to try him, and he just gets stoned. Craig, if you're an outside linebacker running at a 265-pound fullback, are you trying the bull rush?
He's 225-pound linebacker, 5'11", so he's got some leverage. You know, you'd think he's probably got a little motor that he's bringing to the game, too.
I think I'm going swim, rip,
265.
spin move.
Would you have liked that? You wouldn't have liked me as a pass blocker.
No.
They put old Rendrick in there in goal line situations as a lead blocker, too. Nesbitt on the pitch. Roddy Jones to be tackled after a short gain. So Ricky Sapp, who's been active tonight. Let's see if that touchdown pass inspired the Clemson defense.
You can notice the number of jerseys and the helmets from Clemson. Let's check them out on defense. Let's see if their motor's picked up.
Well, and a big stop, and this is a big series for this Clemson defense. Quick strike touchdown from your offense. Now you get a chance to get this football 3 and out back for your young quarterback, Kyle Parker, to help bring you back into this football game.
Second down throw from Nesbitt. Lobs it downfield, and Thomas has it. Wasn't a pretty pass, but effective first down of the 46.
When you've got a tall receiver, it doesn't have to be perfect, does it? You know, when you've got a guy who's got a height mismatch over there, just give him a chance to get the ball up there.
This is what Josh Nesbitt has not done a great job of yet. All he's got to do is really just give him a chance. Again, 6'3". He has the ability to go up and high point the football. He shows you those strong hands right there.
You talk about the revolutions on the, that was not a fast spin in football.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Talk about those revolutions. Yes, he did.
Allen to the 49. That's your tribute to Bob Davie. I get it, but that was a very slow revolving football.
Very Peyton Manning-esque on that throw right there. That thing maybe spun around 3 times.
I have to tell you, you know, we get a treat every week because we get to hear Jesse do Bob Davie impersonations. That revolution.
I tell you what, I think Coach Davie is great. He has an unbelievable understanding of the game and the way he brings it across. And I love the way he describes some of these plays. I'll tell you something right now, Mark Jones. You want to talk about velocity? How about the revolutions on that ball now?
How about the power running of Dwyer? Another first down. What a way to squash momentum if you're Georgia Tech. Just take the football back. You got burned by a touchdown and start marching.
Good point you make there, Chris. You know, this Clemson defense, they tried to come out and show up on this series, but how about hats off to Georgia Tech? You know, this offensive line, this offense, steady Eddie. Keep the pace.
Nesbitt knocked down on a keeper after a short gain by Cavell Connor.
It puts so much stress on a defense playing this style of offense because the football can be in 3 different places simultaneously on the same play, right? You got the dive, the quarterback can keep it, or you have the pitch. You have to play flawless fundamental football in terms of your mentality on defense.
And as a defensive coordinator, you can't really go dial up a whole lot of different things because it's going to be the dive. You better cover it. Here comes the quarterback on the corner. Get the pitch back.
$185 rushing already for Tech. Nesbitt stumbles. He's the one runner that hasn't been able to break free so far.
Josh Nesbitt was very effective running the football last year. 693 yards, and he missed 2 games. You look at the possibilities on offense, it's very fathomable to think that they could have 2 runners with over 1,000 yards, and that has not happened in the ACC since UNC did it back in 1993.
Yeah, but it might be Dwyer and Allen the way things are going so far.
It could be Dwyer and Roddy Jones.
Nesbitt drops back to throw on 3rd down, has time and delivers, but it's dropped by Roddy Jones. And he had all kinds of room.
The takeaway from an X&O standpoint right there is the progress development of this Georgia Tech offense with the offensive line. Last year, Paul Johnson couldn't really call the pass play. He had no confidence in the lineman up front. So the execution was there right up to the delivery point.
These guys were all recruited to play a pro-style offense under the previous coach, Chan Gailey. The linemen really had to adapt, and they feel there's going to be a big improvement in year 2, don't they?
Yes,
playing faster. Chandler Anderson, as the clock ticks down. They snap it with a second to go. Tries to knock it down deep. Like a sandwich, it'll bounce dead about the 12-yard line. So another effective special teams play for Georgia Tech. Clemson able to hold. Spiller and company back to work because of this drop on 3rd down by Ford. Jones. Season here in Atlanta at the Georgia Dome, beaten up by Alabama. Trying to recover from a nightmarish start here, down 24-7, then take over at the 13. Less than 6.5 before halftime, and this Derek Morgan-led defense has been playing well.
You know, the leverage early in the game, you saw that the blocks just weren't going to be there solo, so they've tried to put 2 on him. No way you can let him go by himself one-on-one.
Georgia Tech last year had 3 defensive linemen drafted to the National Football League, and you ask their coaches, they'll tell you Derek Morgan is probably the best of any of them.
One of the few Northerners on this team. He comes from Pennsylvania. Spiller gets the corner and scoots for a short gain. Tarrant forced him out. Aaron, how about Mr. Morgan?
Well, Jesse was the one that pointed it out in our meeting yesterday. That versus sack on his right elbow. He's got it covered up with a kind of a pad over there. That thing was as big as a softball. He says it's just a little painful. I was talking to the trainers over here on Georgia Tech's side of it. CJ, you were right. They don't want to do anything to it, afraid of infection, but they said, hey, anything to help him keep him going, let's keep it on him.
You better keep an eye on him, Aaron, on 3rd down. You need 4. Parker in the gun. Man, there's a nice throw in traffic. 1st down catch by Ford.
And guess who was in coverage on that play? Derek Morgan. We talked about his versatility. He's going to line up outside in the 4-3. He'll stand up in 3-4 defense. Here he is right here at the bottom of your screen. He's going to go out and cover Jacoby Ford in the flat. Derek Morgan there showing you his athleticism and his versatility.
Crucial pickup on 3rd for the Tigers. This is Ford in motion, but Spiller. Short gain left, another tackle. He's all over the place.
The guy has a motor, and he's smart. He's got vision. His instincts to the football are unbelievable. And that's like, you know, these coaches were talking about last year's 3 good players, but look at this left. Goes down the line.
For 272 pounds, he's got those cat-like reflexes. He's got great agility, great speed. He plays patiently enough to watch the zone read and then chases it downfield to make the tackle.
Another zone read. Spiller shows some push up across 34-yard line. Taylor on the stop. Again, Derek Morgan with those 28 NFL personnel people, including president of the Colts, Bill Polian, from 22 different teams. A little showcase tonight for him.
Clemson right now, they need to take advantage of him being aggressive, falling down into the middle. They need to get to the perimeter.
6 tackles already, 3 of them for loss. You need a long yard. Play action to Spiller. Parker Looking across the field to Ford. Underthrown and intercepted by Butler. They had him early, but Mario Butler recovered.
This is a challenge now for the wide receiver. Jacoby Ford's got to go for the football as much as the defensive back went for it. That time, Butler wanted the ball more in the air than the receiver.
I love the concept by offensive coordinator Billy Napier getting all this flow to the right side of the field. There's Jacoby Ford breaking across the other side, but this throw has to be led further to the left. He slows his receiver down, and again, at 5'10", not that physical, Mario Butler just outcompetes to the football.
Mario Butler, the high school teammate of Tim Tebow at Nissan Jacksonville. Jones is stringing out well. He'll lose about a yard. Here's the reaction of Parker. He's so poised and wasn't nervous before, but the frustration's starting to build.
And he's trying, Dabo's trying to tell him, and look at the play. You've got him out there, plant your feet. You saw him falling back when he delivered the football. Didn't have quite the power to let it go.
Veteran moves to hide that little outburst there with your helmet.
Doesn't every quarterback have a fictitious man inside their helmet they can talk to?
Absolutely.
You have one?
Football players do.
Sounding board.
Nesbitt gets it to the edge. Henry Peebles knocked down short of the first down. President Butler, the corner on the stop.
For me, this is where coaching really comes into play now. Dabo Swinney and that staff have to remind their players over there the sense of urgency here right before halftime. We made a mistake. Get the ball back for us, fellas. We need to have a chance to put points on the board.
We'll need to stop right here. Clock ticking down near 3 minutes. Nesbitt, the screen, but he threw it low. Dwyer was well covered.
Craig, like you said, the Clemson defense answers the bell. They step up. They're now going to give the ball back to their offense again with a chance to march down the football field here, hopefully eat up some time and score points and not give the football back to Georgia Tech.
So Chandler Anderson at the punt. Spiller and Ford. Back deep. Nice booming kick by Anderson. Ford backs up to the 6. World-class speed. Corral him at the 23 as we check in with Reese Davis.
Chris, coming up on the IBM halftime report, we'll look forward to the collision in Columbus. Lou and Mark will tell us the keys for both Ohio State and USC. We'll hear from Pete Carroll about his freshman prodigy at quarterback Matt Barkley and what makes him so special. And we'll also have Lou's pep talk making a return. Apparently, the Buckeyes need a little extra help. We'll see you in a little bit.
Reese, thanks. Yeah, Pete Carroll's first trip back to Ohio State since he was a young DB coach for the Buckeyes. It's up 2:42 before halftime for Parker to work with. Spillers to his left. Jackets rush just 4, but flush him out. Tightroping the sidelines. No signal yet at the 41-yard line. It was Ash who dropped the easy one early and did not get the feet down here.
At least Ash worked back for his quarterback, didn't he? He gave him a chance and an option to throw the football once he broke the pocket because he had to. Derek Morgan ran him out of there.
He's trying to get both feet down. You see him chopping them a little bit.
It might be worth a look. His
Absolutely.
Yeah. His toe looked inside the line. A reverse angle would tell whether or not he had possession of the football. We'll take a look.
Please reset the game clock to 2 minutes, 38 seconds.
The clock had been running after that ruled incompletion. Nonetheless.
Well, now, here's something. Wide receivers work on this drill every day in practice. They practice having the awareness of where that sideline is and getting their feet down. You'll see here Terrence Ash Nice job stretching out, trying to drag those feet in bounds. It looked to me as though they may have been on that chalk.
Yeah, I think, Jesse, that right foot is on the chalk. But here's a guy who dropped a pass right in his hands early in the first possession of the game and then is able to almost tightrope one on the sidelines.
It's a great effort. May not have enough evidence to overturn the call on the field. Very tough to tell.
We talk about the wide receiver position at Clemson, how there's been a lot of inconsistency so far this year. And I think right now, offensively, they're looking for guys to step up and assume those roles. They changed the starting lineup a little bit into this game. They're giving different guys opportunities to play, to go out and give Kyle Parker a spark in the passing game. And these are plays these guys are going to have to make, especially with a young quarterback. And the games are on the line. You're trying to fight back in these games. So your receivers need to step up and make plays.
Look at the Trojans, the Buckeyes on ESPN. The NASCAR Sprint Cup Series, Chevy Rock and Roll 400, presented by Pennzoil, moves to ABC this Saturday. Coverage begins on ESPN with NASCAR Countdown, presented by Degree V12 at 7 o'clock Eastern Time.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Incomplete pass, second down.
Don't think they had enough visual evidence to overturn it.
No, so now you got Brad Scott, Dabo Sweeney there in the huddle. They've been talking to their unit here, and they've got a game plan. This is a great way to coach them up and take advantage of the downtime. Come back to the line of scrimmage. Talk about Derek Morgan. You got to know where 91 is on the field. Know what's going on. Although right now I don't even think Derek's out there, is he? Derek's not on the field. It's a break for the offense at Clemson.
2nd and 10. Use this opportunity.
Good after, buddy.
Again, Parker throws on the run, and again incomplete. Same sideline. This time it was Brandon Clear who couldn't stay in bounds.
Those are tough throws for a quarterback, especially when you roll to your right. If you're a right-handed thrower, the way that ball is spinning, you have to remember as a quarterback, it's fading away from the field of play. And sometimes on the run, when you got a receiver so wide open like that, you almost want to just try to dot him in the middle of his chest instead of forcing him to make a stretched effort on the sideline.
3rd and 10. It'll be 3rd and 15. Just his presence in there. Derek Morgan came back in the game on that left side.
76 of the offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
And Corey Lambert, experienced, but 91's been eating him up.
Well, and Morgan tells us that his greatest asset is his jump off the ball at the snap. And so the right tackle, Lambert, knows I've got to get back immediately. I didn't like the 2nd down call. I would try to go for 5 yards or so. Move the chains. Be more methodical about your approach.
Spiller and the tight end, Michael Palmer, in the backfield. They pick up the rush. Plenty of time for Parker. Now he's flushed out, and once again has to just chuck it away. Anthony Abunaway with the late pressure, but good coverage again by the Jacket secondary. And check the flag.
Offsides. 91 of the defense. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
It can't be a perfect half, I guess.
Sometimes I think when you have that great start and that great jump off the ball, you can be a little bit too early sometimes. One thing that's interesting to watch, Dave Womack told us, the strength of this defense is the back 7. It's not the defensive line like it was a year ago. He wants to get pressure with only 4 players. That might be a little bit different if he has to dial up these pressures continuously.
His presence created the false start. He gave the 5 yards back, so we're back to 3rd and 10. Parker, clear look downfield. Looked like he could have stayed inside, tried to go outside, and was stopped well short by Taylor.
Cooper Taylor's kind of a hybrid guy. They call it the wolf position, little linebacker, strong safety, free safety guy. Great open field tackle there by Taylor. But when we talk back about that fast Morgan coming off line of scrimmage, Parker's got to change his cadence a little bit. He can't allow him to come off clean and fast like that.
See if Clemson uses some time before punting. Break clock at 15. Under 2 minutes in the first half as Zimmerman is back. This is a high kick and another fair catch by Tarrant. but it's at the 45. So Johnson has great field position and some time to work with if they want to pad this lead. I think the guys in the booth had this. I wonder if he did at home. Affleck trivia question. Which coach has the highest career winning percentage at both schools? You got to go way back, the early 1900s. They named the trophy after this guy. John Heisman, a couple of years at Clemson, 3 to be exact, and 16 years at Georgia Tech. Funny story, in 1903 at Clemson, by the way, he coached a game in the afternoon, got married later that day, and they did win the game, by the way. And Nesbitt dropped in the backfield. Good looking play by Daquan Bowers. And Daquan hadn't called this number a lot tonight. He's the freakishly talented defensive end.
Kevin Steele told us that he compares him to Reggie White when he was at Tennessee. And that is an unbelievable comparison. And Kevin Steele was quick to point out, hey, he was a GA at Tennessee when Reggie was a freshman playing against the Alabama triple option. He wasn't a freak yet, but he thinks Daquan has all the ability.
Nesbitt pulls it, pitches it. It was behind Peebles, who has to collect it, and that ruined the timing of the play. Gilchrist there to shove him out.
Well, one thing that Reggie White did was he played every snap side to side. He never let up. Last year, Daquan was really good when the ball was away from him. Now he's working on when it's to him.
Came into Clemson with a lot of hype as well. ESPN.com ranked him the #1 high school recruit in the entire nation when he got to campus at Clemson. The coaches say he's got a lot of talent, he's got to grow into it, but he showed remarkable progress here this past offseason.
See him clapping his hands, trying to get his D-line fired up on 3rd and 9. Nesbitt looking on field, overthrown for Thomas. That time he tried to take the air out of the ball, Jesse, what you suggested he do, but just too much.
Well, yeah, that throw, I think sometimes you got to look at the relationship of your wide receiver to the cornerback. And that time, Demaryius Thomas got behind the defender, and that's an example as a quarterback when you can put a little air under that, arc the throw, and allow your wide receiver to run under it a little bit.
But isn't that not the second series in a row where Clemson's defense has stepped up and stopped Georgia Tech's offense?
Hanging around, still down 17. We're going to see if Anderson dares to put it deep. They got a high snap. A line drive kick in traffic, and Ford, a dangerous play, came up. Goes out of bounds at the 18-yard line. That's where Clemson will take over. Got a minute and 1 to work with.
You know what? Again, you can at least go to the locker room now defensively and know that you can stop Georgia Tech's offense. It's on Clemson's offensive shoulders.
It's a tough deal, though, if you're Clemson going in at halftime behind like this. Because Georgia Tech runs the football so much and they can eat up clock, it's very difficult to get back on them. It's very difficult to play catch-up against this style of offense.
Unless Clemson has a big play in the special teams, Spiller and Ford. They've got the ability. They can stretch beyond just the offense.
They'll have to stop Tech first. In that second half. Parker, he'll be dropped again. One more time, Mr. Morgan, 3 sacks and a half.
Derek Morgan has just been unblockable tonight. You've seen him line up all over the field. Here, instead of just pinning himself back, it's a stunt. He works inside. The change of direction, his ability to lower his center of gravity, Craig, I think is just remarkable.
They call that an El Paso stunt. We did. Where's the help? You've still got one-on-one blocking out on Morgan.
And where's the next Reggie White? He might be in white tonight.
That's right.
Not like they didn't expect it. I mean, Morgan, you come in the scouting report, you have to account for him. He's the returning starter. Better than guys like Darrell Richard and Michael Johnson and Vance Walker, who all can look in the NFL. Never had 3 sacks in a game before. He's got 3 tonight. And almost at a 4th. Parker able to escape and dart out of bounds. 91 was right there again.
It's amazing how only one player can disrupt an entire offensive game plan. If I'm Billy Napier right now, offensive coordinator, I'm not allowing one player to block Derek Morgan the rest of this game.
Look at the power and the leverage, how he stays below tackle Corey Lambert. There's no chance for Lambert, that tackle, to slow that progress down. And he's blowing up the pocket, forcing the freshman out of the pocket, and then it's helter-skelter.
Give Big Corey some help over there, huh?
Give me a back, Chip. Let's do something.
3rd and 9. Parker airing it out. Showing the arm, looking for Spiller, but not even CJ could catch up with that one. Well covered by Butler.
Well, this is a play that Kyle Parker is going to want back. He had Jacoby Ford in the slot working a little corner out on the sidelines, and he had the distance to convert that first down. I think you're seeing a little bit of the inexperience from the young freshman quarterback wanting it all instead of taking what the defense is giving him.
But we do have to at least give him a little fairness now. Not here, because Morgan's been in his hip pocket the entire game. You can understand his frustration.
Good job by the Tech corners. Tarrant takes a punt back for a touchdown. He's made some nice plays. Butler has an interception. Zimmerman, good looking boot. This time no fair catch from Tarrant. Did it touch a Tech player? Bounces out of bounds at the 45. It's a good break, a flag down as well. Did they crowd him?
They did, absolutely. Interference with the return man.
If you're Gerard Tarrant right there, you got to be yelling, Peter, Peter, Peter. Yelling, telling and signaling your players to get away from the football.
It's a universal call.
Kick catch
Absolutely.
interference. 31 of the kicking team. He measured from the spot of foul. First down.
Where did that call come from that every coach in America came up with it?
You know, but the body language of Gerard Tarrant right there, I think, just demonstrated to everybody else, hey, I'm fair catching this football.
You didn't answer my question.
Where did the Peter thing come from? You know better than I do.
I don't know. Everybody had it. Every decade has it.
So the penalty, a move the ball into Clemson territory at the 41. 12 seconds before halftime. Chance to maybe throw it down there and tack on a field goal.
You may not have to throw it. Or this offense here, run the thing.
Blair again doesn't have a career field goal longer than 39 yards. Nesbitt pressure as he throws, goes downfield, and Peebles was the intended receiver. 5 seconds left.
Well, they're trying to get their A-back, Embry Peoples, up the sideline. Very similar to how Clemson scored with C.J. Spiller earlier in the game. Great job of coverage there by Clemson, safeguarding against that. And now really just forcing Georgia Tech to have to throw a Hail Mary up here. This will be the last play of the half.
See, in the first quarter, had it only for 337, but get 21 thanks to a couple special teams touchdowns. Good possession here in the second quarter, trying to sit on the lead.
Very explosive first quarter here. Georgia Tech coming right out of the box here after the interception on the option and having the chance to go with Anthony Allen. The home run ball right out of the blocks.
Then early in the game on an attempted pooch punt by Clemson, Gerard Tarrant showing you the athleticism. Second game in a row now. Big punt return touchdown for the very, very talented cornerback.
And then the fake field goal, Demarius Thomas. He didn't quite go all the way to the water cooler. He stayed over in the field of play action.
Scott Blair, what an efficiency rating he's got as a passer now. And play took 7 seconds. So only 5 now to work with. They do have a couple timeouts, but probably not enough time to complete a pass and call timeout and kick a field goal.
You need to get to the 30-yard line to put yourself in a reasonable field goal distance. You could try throwing a quick out here on the short side of the field, but that's calling it tight for 5 seconds.
Could go the other way, too, on a bad throw on the inside.
This will be the last play of the half. Nesbitt firing down a wobbly pass way out of bounds. Stephen Hill, the true freshman, was in the area. But all in all, impressive first half in all phases for Georgia Tech. Special teams touchdowns for Paul Johnson. Running game, good defense. He's with Aaron Andrews.
Chris, thanks. Coach, yesterday you said to us, I don't know what kind of team I have. Well, what did you think after that first quarter?
Well, we came out in the first quarter and hit some big plays and got on them, but we've got to be more consistent on offense. We down here, we busted 2 or 3 plays, and we busted some blocking, so we got to get that fixed.
Derek Morgan so far, Coach, 3 sacks already in this half. You told us he was the real deal, but what are you thinking about when you're watching him on the sideline?
He's a hard guy to block. I know that. He's a good player.
Thank you, Paul. Chris.
Paul Johnson's a tough grader. 192 yards rushing, and he's not satisfied with a 17-point lead. Reese Davis, Lou Holtz, Mark May, the IBM halftime report coming up right now. Set for the second half here in Atlanta. Chris Fowler, Craig James, Jesse Palmer, and Aaron Andrews. And Tech will get the ball first, up 24-7. Talked about an option offense being 0 for 5 on 3rd down and a half. You'd say, not a good half. Now, 2 special teams touchdowns and a great effort by the defense, and they're protecting a 17-point lead. To boot it away for Clemson. This defense needs to stop right away, huh?
Big time.
And coming up to take it is Peoples. And he got rocked at the 22. Pretty simple in the first half. I mean, Georgia Tech out executing, out playing, out coaching, out everything. Clemson.
Well, the Home Depot coaching adjustment, I'm sure Corey Lambert, the right tackle at Clemson, probably helped his coaching staff with this one here. Like, Coach, can you give me somebody to help block Derek Morgan?
There's no way that Clemson can allow only one player to fit on Derek Morgan. They need tight end help, running back help. And if I'm Clemson offensively, I'm running draws, I'm running screens to take advantage of Derek Morgan's speed off the edge. Craig, you mentioned it earlier. They got to do a better job with the snap count as well.
Nesbitt, meanwhile, keeps it for about 5. C.J. Spiller really held in check as a running back. 9 carries, just 25 yards. He had 1 8-yard run early in the game. Did catch a touchdown pass.
And Chris, Jacoby Ford, only 3 receptions for 11 yards. So their home run threats, their big strike players really being limited here.
Dwyer lined up behind Nesbitt, and he's got it. Stopped immediately. Cavell Connor combining with Brandon Thompson.
I think you really expect right now, with such a lead here heading into the 3rd quarter, Georgia Tech's going to want to run this football, try to chip away, move the chains, and control the tempo. Paul Johnson is 8-1 at Georgia Tech when leading at halftime. It is a very, very difficult offense to stop and come back on when you're down by so much heading into the second half.
Therefore, some pressure on Clemson's defense on 3rd and 5 to get the football back. Nesbitt straight back, chased, and can't get away. Clemson brought some serious pressure, came from the middle, and then Daquan Bowers is there to clean it up.
Able to get it done, though, really with 4 guys. And that allowed that 6, 7 guys to drop back into coverage. And, you know, a great start. The 3rd series now this Clemson defense has been out and stopped the Georgia Tech offense.
We heard Paul Johnson say before going in at halftime, the offense had been inconsistent. And that's what he's talking about right there. And you need to start moving the chains, really get this thing going. They haven't been able to do that. 2 special teams touchdowns. Aside from that, I'd argue the offense hasn't exactly looked brilliant.
So Spiller and Ford deep. Anderson. It's a low kick. Bouncing in front of Spiller and going backwards and out of bounds at the 43. Aaron?
Hey, CF, I was trying to get the temperature of what exactly was going on in that Clemson locker room during halftime. But when head coach Dabo Swinney came out, he's very calm, and he said what he did preach to his team was patience. He said, just like CJ's been mentioning, defense has been playing well the end of that second half, and that is the positive thing this team needs to build off of. Guys were bobbing their heads, kind of singing to the music when they came out, trying to stay positive. And I got to tell you, C.J. Spiller was the one guy trying to, you know, be positive on the sidelines, kind of get his teammates up as they started the second half.
Aaron, we were talking, Spiller trying to be a more vocal leader of the football team this year. You can make a play here. Bounces it to the outside and pushed out of bounds finally by Burnett after a nice gain, by far their best run of the night, and a late flag on the sideline. So a 19-yard gain and maybe 15 more. Burnett riding him out.
That's exactly the start that Dabo Swinney wants her at the start of the second half.
Personal foul. Late hit out of bounds. 15 yards from the end of the run. Automatic first down.
It all starts up front. This offensive line that we highlighted and showcased at the early deal, you'll see here a fit and a push backside. Look at the hole. Look at the push. Well, that's the attitude.
And this play is designed to go to the right, and C.J. Spiller just does a great job with his vision with the cutback.
And the speed takes care of the rest. So 34 yards in total with the run and the penalty. And this is Spiller again. Another look at what happened on that Clemson sideline to draw the flag. It's Burnett. I don't know about that.
I don't either.
I mean, come on, he's riding him out of bounds. He kind of fell down and dragged Spiller down with him into a bunch of Tigers over there. Second and 9. Spiller, he's going to throw it. Lucky enough to get that picked off. A wobbly effort from C.J. And Butler already has one pick tonight, was in the neighborhood.
Well, he's going to throw it. That's being kind to what he just tried to do.
Put that one back in the bag. I know.
Yeah, he can catch it, run it, punt return, kick return, but he can't throw the halfback pass.
Spoken from a guy who definitely did that very well, Greg. I'll give you credit for that.
Thank you.
They didn't even have him fooled. I'm not sure a good pass would have worked anyway. So now 3rd and 9. Beck rushes just 4. Parker fires late. An acrobatic diving attempt by Michael Palmer. Did he get the foot down? He did. Tight end slow to get up. What an athletic play from a 260 tight end.
Well, here's a guy who's a leader on this offense, and on this play, he does a magnificent job working back to the sidelines for his quarterback. He's lined up inside at tight end. When Kyle Parker gets flushed out of the pocket by guess who? Derek Morgan on the spin move. You see at the top of your screen, there's Palmer working to the sidelines, fully extending and getting a foot down. Terrific catch.
Cut it to the back of the football.
Wow,
tremendous
great hand strength. Great hand strength. Look at the left foot coming down for the reception. Outstanding.
We're going to review it as they continue to attend to Palmer, so we'll take a quick break. Review confirms the call. The catch by Michael Palmer is from just up the road in Stone Mountain, Georgia. Grew up a Tech fan. Great catch stand, so it's 1st and goal. Parker in an empty backfield. Spiller is in the slot to the right of the formation, and now comes in motion. C.J. tracked down from behind. And Boonaway got him.
Coach Dave Womack told us Derek Morgan is the best pass rusher, but his backup Anthony Boonaway is the 2nd best. It was a nice job by Clemson trying to confuse him and line up C.J. Spiller, wide receiver, put him in the backfield, but you see the speed off the edge.
Yeah, look at the reverse, though. It's there. There's no discipline backside. They're over-pursuing right now. They've got to call something to get the Georgia Tech defense to stay at home.
2nd and goal. Spiller again. Picks his way inside the 5. Boonaway again grabbed him.
Have we seen a misdirection play tonight by Clemson's offense? Something to keep Derek Morgan at home, to make him play sideline to sideline.
Boonaway comes out, and Morgan comes in now in 3rd and goal.
Chris, 3 points here is nice for Clemson, but this is a football team that needs 7.
Make this thing a 2-possession game.
Spiller and Dwayne Allen, number 83 in the backfield. Jackets show pressure and draw a penalty. Chris Hairston, the right tackle, came out of his stance. And the 3rd down just got a little bit tougher. The effect of all that quickness up front.
It's unbelievable. Can change the game.
Ball start, 61 of the offense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Very difficult on the road in the end zone where the students are down here for Georgia Tech. But this is where the right tackle has to really hold his water and sit in there. And Kyle Parker, the quarterback, has to change that cadence. He's got to have confidence that they only know they're going to sit there till the ball snaps.
Look at the wackos in the front row underneath the goalpost. You're right, there is a lot of noise down there for Parker to contend with. Just his first road game. Andre Ellington to the left. Here's Spiller in motion. Parker looks that way, fakes, fires across the middle. A low throw, touchdown. Dwayne Allen came up with it. Big time arm indeed. That was a missile and a great catch by Allen.
Clemson's going to use a double move here from their tight end Allen. You'll see him lined up right here. He's just going to run an out and up. Used to call that a pump route. You see the middle linebacker jump on it. Kyle Parker puts it out in front a little bit low. Great concentration by Dwayne Allen.
Velocity and behind him, and he still came up with it.
Previous play is under further review.
Or did he? Review guys have been busy tonight, but this is a crucial play.
Dwayne Allen is a freshman, redshirt freshman, and last year they said that he slept in the meetings. You know, this is a player here, ball in the hands, arms underneath.
Looks like Dwayne kept it.
I think he did. God, so much real estate in front of him to make that play. The ball's behind it. Looks there like his hand is underneath the football,
a touchdown.
Cradling it. That looks to me like a touchdown, but a great catch.
And with Brad Jefferson, that big middle linebacker, bearing down on him.
We call it a toast route as running backs. You know, what'd you say you called it?
We called it a pump route.
Pump route. We just said we're going to toast you. We're going to look outside and get you to change your feet and toast you back inside.
Allen's pretty confident that he did hold on to it. Said, I had it, coach.
The ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
It's a 9-yard pass and a 57-yard drive in 7 plays. Crucial.
And the defense went out and started that momentum by forcing a 3-and-out by Georgia Tech.
Richard Jackson tries to bring Clemson within 10 points. So it's still a 10-point lead for Georgia Tech, but a positive start to this third quarter for Clemson. Strong catch. The quarterback looked good. 8 million gallons of fresh and marine water. That's a beluga whale. Wow. Their eggs make very good eating, Greg. I guess you're not a caviar person, all right?
No, I didn't even know they had white whales.
Now there's Orwin Smith. And the freshman has a crease, but it closes quickly as he's stopped at the 31-yard line. But check back with Reese.
All right, Chris, after the rain delay in the U.S. Open quarterfinal, Rafael Nadal and Fernando Gonzalez, they are underway again. Nadal won the first set 7-6, and he is up 4-3 in the second. The match going on live on ESPN2.
For the right to take on Juan Martín del Potro in the semifinals in New York. Djokovic and Federer in the other half of the draw, if you're concerned. So Tech gets it back to lead, only 10, and Dwyer is stacked up. All of a sudden, the Clemson defensive line fellow starting to make some plays.
Well, the last 4 full possessions here for Georgia Tech's offense, 4 punts, 49 yards.
They really got to get it going, Craig. And you're watching Clemson on the sidelines, on special teams, on kickoff, and on defense. They're starting to feel it a little bit now. They're jumping around, getting a lot of that life back in them.
Still have to be mindful that a huge play can happen in any second against this option offense. Nesbitt on the keeper, has a crease, shows his strength as a runner, muscles into Clemson territory. 2-yard gain, 1-yard gain, 30-yard gain. It happens a lot.
Usually the guards in football will take you to the play. Watch the left guard here, what he does. Josh Gilbert, see him 70 turn, kick out, block. Outstanding job by Gilbert.
We talked about how important it was for Clemson to be able to tackle in this game. You can count 3 missed tackles on that one run. Chris, that's why they're able to get those big 30-yard chunks. When guys can't tackle, they make big plays.
Sean Bedford, the center, down on the field. Comes from the home of the Gators there in Gainesville.
Parents went to church with the Urban Meyer and his family back in Gainesville.
Aerospace engineering, not a typical major for that many football players in America, would you say?
Weren't my teammates.
Dan Voss is a senior. He's an experienced guy. They'll bring him in to replace Bedford.
How about you, Jesse? How many aerospace, technical, whatevers did you play with?
Not many. I wasn't one of them. I know that.
You like this Philly cheesesteak, Cherry Hill jerseys near Philly. And again, they don't see too many Northerners come down here to play football. So that's.
I wonder if they make a Philly cheesesteak in Atlanta.
He may have eaten a couple. It was about $2.96. Misdirection, and Jones tripped up. Jarvis Jenkins got him to the line of scrimmage.
Really impressed these past couple of drives now. Clemson up front, that defensive line really asserting himself. And they're certainly a lot bigger than Georgia Tech's more athletic offensive linemen, but they're staying home, they're seeing the football, they're seeing the exchanges, and that's what's enabled them to make a lot of plays.
Keeps it on 2nd and 10. Just about 4.
You talk about at the point of attack. You've got that defensive tackle and defensive end, that time Sapp and Thompson blowing up the dive back, forcing Nesbitt deeper. I mean, boom, disrupting the rhythm of the play.
Roddy Jones trots back on 3rd and 6. Thomas to the left of the formation. It's Allen coming in motion, taking the pitch, lowering the head and driving toward the marker. We're going to spot him out of bounds short, I believe.
Well, he sure is a load. You see the power. We saw it already earlier in tonight's game. Once he gets on that sideline, there's a pack of 4 Clemson defenders, and he's able to just bury that and march the football closer.
Need a little bit more than a yard at the 36.
I get the feeling that if Paul Johnson hadn't had his offense coming off the field in the last 4 possessions, he wouldn't be doing this here. He doesn't want to give the ball back with momentum to Clemson.
It's Dwyer behind Nesbitt. Tigers nearly jumped offside, and now a flag comes in. Well, they induced.
Delay of the game against the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
That flag came from the back judge. He couldn't have been able to see a line of scrimmage infraction, so the delay makes it 4th and 6.
Paul Johnson, that Georgia Tech offense, trying to freeze Clemson to use a late shift, a hard count, to get the A-back coming in motion and try to create a false start and a jump on the defensive side of the ball, but give Clemson lots of credit, staying home, staying very poised. And now they're going to get the ball back again.
Now they bring Anderson out. Pretty good at knocking those punts down inside the 20. Did it 4 times in the opening game. Boots it high. This time it bounces into the end zone. Another reminder that USC headed for the Horseshoe and ESPN primetime, 8 o'clock Saturday night. Primetime presented by Hampton Hotels. Brent, Kirk, Lisa Salters, and about 100,000 breathless fans in that stadium. What do you think? You make a prediction?
I've got USC dancing in my head the last several New Year's Day games against the Big Ten, putting a whooping on them.
That was in Pasadena, though, not in Columbus.
It doesn't matter.
He's really having to earn his yards tonight. Spiller got about 3.
So what do you think about that game?
It's hard to go against USC. I still think that Matt Barkley is poised, as good as he looked against San Jose State in the Coliseum. It'll be a little different deal.
I think USC running the football so well, 342 yards. I know it was against San Jose State, but they are deep at running back. They just bring fresh legs in.
Yeah, if all he has to do is hand it off, Barkley will be fine. Parker fires left side. Good job by Tech in the neighborhood. Cedric Griffin on the stop, combining with Cooper Taylor.
Yeah, I tell you what, this Georgia Tech defense getting to the football, their defense has played well tonight. They've had a few breakdowns, but man, how about the speed of the ball?
Yeah, and Billy Napier, the offensive coordinator at Clemson, has stayed true to his word. He's been multiple. He's lined C.J. Spiller up all over the field. They've found creative ways to get him the football, but you're right, Craig. Georgia Tech, I think, doing a better job tackling right now.
Morgan is out, a 3-down lineman look, showing pressure up the middle on 3rd and 7. They don't bring it. It's a 3-man rush. So Parker has time to fire downfield for Ford. And Jacoby Ford out of the starting box and into the end zone. "77 yards. The fastest man in college football."
Well, Jacoby Ford knew where the ball was in the air. He was behind the defenders, and when you get behind the defenders, they're at the mercy of your eyes. You remember, Jesse, as a receiver, sometimes you're looking at the receiver's eyes. You don't know where the ball is.
Well, the middle linebacker on that play is not supposed to allow the slot receiver to get behind him. Brad Jefferson at 237 pounds does not have a chance against the indoor 60-meter champion.
The Clemson defense doing its part, and the quick strike ability of the Tigers and brought them back within 3. Oh, new ball game in Atlanta. Looks like typical Clemson Georgia Tech now. Got some if you need it. Got some. All right, Clemson was in an all-purple haze in the first quarter here, but now 21 straight, including the longest TD reception of Jacoby Ford's career, 77 yards. 3rd touchdown pass for Parker, and it's just a 3-point game. Owen Smith pushed back to the goal line. And that's the kind of kickoff coverage we're used to seeing from Clemson. Chris Davis, what do you have for us?
Chris, what I have for you is when a guy throws more touchdown passes and incompletions, he can be the AT&T All-America Player of the Week, just like Jimmy Clausen of Notre Dame. 15 out of 18 over 3 Bills, 4 touchdowns, and that 35-0 win against Nevada. Every week, we honor that ESPN AT&T All-America Player of the Week, and you can text your vote to 345-345 on your AT&T wireless phone. You can also enter for a chance to win a trip to the national championship game.
Reese, thanks. It'll be fun to watch him against the Wolverines as Tech goes back to work. And Dwyer frustrated. He had a hole, but he got tripped up. Aaron?
CF, even before Kyle Parker threw for that touchdown, Georgia Tech's Jonathan Dwyer was just barking at his offensive linemen, just coming over to them on the bench, getting in their faces, kind of telling them to wake up. I mean, we've sat with this guy over the past couple years, very mild-mannered player, very quiet. He just woke up, and he's been screaming at him ever since.
One of those big guys up front, down on the field. Looks like Sean Bedford came out earlier. And the center was replaced by Voss, comes back in the game, and now another look at him.
Well, and it's critical right now for Georgia Tech to really establish a drive. 14 unanswered points right now from Clemson. All the momentum is on that Clemson sideline right now. Georgia Tech has to respond. And Jonathan Dwyer, if he's the leader of that team, he's got to be the guy to step up and get everyone riled up.
He was close. If he'd have picked his feet up, he'd have gotten through there, and that's what's been lacking in this offense the last 5 possessions. They've not had Dwyer as the dive back between the tackles being successful.
Dwyer's been held in check tonight very well. 11 carries, just 50 yards.
Well, a lot of times defensively, it's just how you react. You never know who's going to be the star in this Georgia Tech offense. Today, so far, it's been Anthony Allen because that's what the defense has given them. You get the sense coming into this game, Clemson was going to take Jonathan Dwyer away.
Wouldn't you guys, though? I mean, I think we all three would say, let's take the dive back away. Let's let make Josh Nesbitt, the quarterback, beat us on the ground.
Yeah, his last 8 carries, just 18 yards for Dwyer. Still got 4 yards on first down. Van Voss, the backup, back in at center. Dive play again. Is that a correct read, Craig? There's not a lot there.
You know what? It's one of those deals where the defensive end was there. Yes, it was the right read. He had to give it because the defensive end was up the field. He had to give the ball to the dive back then.
It's one thing we talked about with Josh Nesbitt, talking about last year being the first year in the spread option offense. He was thinking a lot, trying not to screw up. Now that he's been in the system here, he says he feels so much more comfortable and he can just react.
They haven't converted a third down all night, Tech. 0 for 7. Need 3. On the pitch. Roddy Jones is hammered. Great stop. Short of the first down by Cabell Connor.
And it's the little things that lead to those type plays. That pitch was a little bit behind Roddy Jones, and it forced him just to slow down a tad, and that allowed Cabell Connor to go make the play.
You know, you see him inside, ready, aim, fire. That's what he did. He found his aim, and he took it out.
He had the strength to stop Jones, who had his team coming in motion. Those little one-on-one battles that can help decide games. And Clemson's going to get the football back. Haven't come close to blocking one, even though Chandler Anderson kind of takes a while to get it away. This is Ford. Shakes the first man. And Jacoby Ford around at about the 38-yard line. Let's check a flag here. It's back in Tech territory. Signaling hold against the Yellow Jackets. See if Clemson makes him kick it again.
I would. If I had Jacoby Ford and C.J. Spiller back there, I'd make you kick it every time.
Or no, you'd say no, let's just take the ball near 40-yard line. But
looks like Ford being looked at by the trainers.
Well, if Jacoby Ford's not going to be out there, then maybe you just take the ball. I'll say this. C.J. Spiller, he's got the ability to take it to the house himself.
In any case, last 6 possessions for Tech, all punts.
Holding against the receiving team, number 8. That's 10 yards to the previous spot. The yardage will be enough for a first down.
Oh, boy.
Wow.
So a holding before the ball was kicked. That is a huge miscue by Clemson. There was some confusion. I think Paul Johnson thought it was on his team. Now Sweeney is just shocked. Called it on Jamie Cumbie. He's still not satisfied with the explanation.
Cumbie on the inside, one of the defensive tackles. Yeah, it's not a routine call, probably.
So instead of having the football at their 37, Clemson has to go play defense again. Jackets have it at their 37. Once again, Dwyer just pummeled. Brandon Thompson doing a good job. The interior of that defensive line stepping up.
And that's really where all the mass is on this Clemson D-line. You look at Jarvis Jenkins, 310 pounds. Brandon Thompson, who you just mentioned, 305 pounds. They are really eating up blocks right now. Those cut blocks are not affecting them. It's not getting them to the ground.
Dwyer is a sturdy guy, but he's been taking a beating last quarter or so. And not much production to show for it. Nesbitt pressured. Throws it downfield. Kind of in the neighborhood of Stephen Hill. Ricky Sapp was pressuring him. Nesbitt struggled. He just 1 for 9 passing.
Nice job of getting pressure up the middle there. We saw Ricky Sapp off the edge. Scotty Cooper, a backup outside linebacker, also ran a blitz inside, forcing Nesbitt outside, and there were no routes that were short enough, and none of his receivers came back to help him out.
Well, you see there, the 1 of 9. This is really an offense that, as we said in the first half, throws the ball effectively when it's 2nd and 5, 2nd and 4, not 2nd and 9.
On 3rd and 9, he's got some time and fires over the head of his intended receiver, Kevin Cohn. So 1 for 10. And this Clemson defense, what a turnaround.
They've just gotten away from their identity. Georgia Tech's offense the last 5 or 6 series dating back to the end of the 2nd quarter. They lost it. They lost their execution, Jesse. It's not the same offense that we saw earlier in the game.
Well, again, you just mentioned it, Craig. This is not a team that's designed to play drop-back passing football. On that particular play, Josh Nesbitt was looking for a shallow cross. He had his wide receiver, Jamario Thomas, coming wide open on an in route.
2 minutes, 7 seconds.
And so it's a 3 and out after the penalty. Put that Clemson defense right back on the field. Good job. And now Ford and Spiller are deep again.
I think in the big picture, looking at this, it's really the Clemson defense that has given this team an opportunity to come back in this game. They've gotten the football back when they've needed to.
It's a low kick. Bounces in front of Spiller. Effective as it rolls out of bounds at the 24. Let's check the weekend menu presented by Applebee's. We talked about Notre Dame and Michigan Saturday 3:30 on ABC. UCLA and Tennessee, an intriguing game as the Vols try to win that game and get ready for the Gators.
The Lane Kiffin era starting in Tennessee. I thought one of the most impressive players this past weekend is their quarterback Jonathan Crompton. 5 touchdown passes, running that new pro-style offense.
You think that UCLA will have revenge, to fear over there at Tennessee, wanting to whoop them up from last year's loss on the West Coast?
Crompton wants redemption. He had a rough game out there in Pasadena. Spiller gets free. C.J. Spiller through a crease and out near midfield. And just a monster swing in momentum. 25 yards on that run.
You've seen the last 2 series now. Billy Napier teeing these plays up for their playmakers and their speed. And here's a guy they're going to force feed the football to.
Linebackers have got to spread and get out. Look at 54. You're supposed to be on the outside. You've lost your responsibilities. Defense playing poorly right now for Georgia Tech.
There's old big Rendrick Taylor, the 265-pounder. He's in the backfield. Spiller takes it the other way, but can't escape the tackle.
That's a great tackle by Jason Peters, but I'll say it this. They've run that power play now a couple times, and that cutback has been there all day for C.J. Spiller. If they're not quicker, he's going to break that and really hurt them. There's a lot of field to run with.
Left tackle Chris Hairston, left guard Thomas Austin, really doing a good job back there.
Parker has a man wide open. Marquand Jones inside the 10, and now it's Clemson's turn to fool the other guys.
You got to be on your game tonight defensively, looking at the players from sideline to sideline. Quick snap there, got everybody. Georgia Tech just asleep at the wheel on defense.
And we said that Clemson was going to be very multiple. They were going to substitute a lot of guys on the field, and Georgia Tech here, Craig, just goes to sleep.
Spiller cuts it back. Gets a block. Shoved out by Tarrant, the 8.
Frank, you'd really appreciate this. Playing running back yourself, C.J. Spiller does a great job with his eyes. He's always looking for that cutback.
You know what he does, Jesse? When he sees a crease, he goes. He knows his speed is going to run by a defender. A lot of runners will look a little longer and then decide to go. He knows they can't touch him. He just goes.
82 yards rushing now. Also cut the touchdown pass, 4 receptions. Final 30 seconds of the 3rd quarter. A workhorse Cuts it back, lowers the head, and leans near the marker. It'll be 3rd and short.
There's been a lot of pressure coming off the edge for Georgia Tech in this football game. And what does Clemson do down in the red zone? They fake a reverse outside to slow down those defensive ends to allow C.J. Spiller more room to operate inside.
So what a dramatic turnaround in this 3rd quarter. Clemson draws within 3 and now threatens to take the lead. First play of the 4th quarter, a crucial 3rd and 1 for Clemson. Spiller. Brought for a loss by Ben Anderson. No hesitation from Sweeney. Out comes the field goal team.
Smart. Get the points, tie the football game, keep the momentum on your side, getting points.
Boy, oh boy, was that a big stop for Georgia Tech. After getting repeatedly gashed on the last 3 series now, they make a big stop to at least keep this thing and the damage at a minimum.
Derek Morgan had the big night, but Ben Anderson, the tackle, steps up, makes a huge play. And here's Richard Jackson from 21 yards. So Clemson has to settle for 3 and disappointment, but 24 unanswered brings us dead even early 4th in Atlanta. Applebee's. Dabo Sweeney's team popped in the mouth. They looked confused. They were down by 24, but with his drives in the second half, 24 unanswered. A 72-yard field goal drive. Was Ford with the 77-yard touchdown reception from Parker. Tech's offense got to find a way to move the ball. A very deep kickoff. And the freshman Smith weaves his way out to the 20. Now celebrating its 5th year sponsoring the Good Hands Goal Nets. All-State makes contributions to participating universities' general scholarship funds for each field goal and extra point kick. To date, All-State's contributed more than $1.8 million in scholarship money. Craig, that assignment football, the Clemson defense has been hammered in the head since the spring, since the camp, and then the short week. Good job since halftime.
Especially the defensive ends. Those 2 good defensive ends there at Clemson are getting up the field. They're telling Nesbitt to hand the ball to the fullback inside. And right now, Jonathan Dwyer has no success in the middle.
It's been nothing but dive plays lately. A 1st down throw for Nesbitt, who has just 1 completion all night. He forces it downfield in the coverage, and it's intercepted by McDaniel. So 2nd time tonight, Nesbitt's thrown on 1st down. 2nd time, McDaniel's been there to pick it off.
And he's forcing the football, Chris. You'll see on this play, he drops back. He wants to throw it sooner and pump fakes. And all he does by doing that is send DeAndre McDaniel on a beeline over to cover Anthony Allen.
And you know what? Stephen Hill, the freshman number 5, has got to drive hard to the middle of the field to occupy the free safety so that they continue to have one-on-one on the outside.
That is a rough night for Josh Nesbitt. Hasn't really made a big play on the ground either. McDaniel is known as a hitter. He's become an interceptor. 3 already in 2 games. It's Jamie Harper spinning for a short gain.
After beating Jacksonville State last week, Paul Johnson said his team looked ragged and they needed to get nastier. And what he meant by that, they needed to have that killer mentality. When you're up on a team, you step on them and end the game. After giving up 24 unanswered points right now and throwing another turnover, I'd argue his team right now not showing that killer instinct he's talking about.
And a little bit, and we'll talk about Paul here after this play and what he's done in this game.
They fake it to Spiller. And Parker files it on the flat. The big guy, your lead blocker, Taylor, makes a catch, forced out by Tarrant. 265 on the catch there, huh?
Yeah, you know, part of that nastiness comes from the football team. I understand. I hear what Paul's trying to accomplish there. But then again, Paul Johnson, too, he's the one who made that call for a pass. And I thought they've gotten away from their identity in this game. You know, this is a running football team. It's not a drop-back passing team. This is a football team that since early in the second quarter has averaged 1.5 yards on 1st down. Terrible.
It had 7 straight possessions, Craig, with a punt. So maybe a little bit of departure of the comfort zone for Coach Johnson. Parker fires over the middle, caught by Jacoby Ford, and he dives to the 36. So Parker, after a rough start, on target.
How good has Kyle Parker looked? Very poised. He doesn't get those happy feet that a lot of freshman quarterbacks would. He's going to work his little receiver, Jacoby Ford, on the backside on the in route, and just delivers a very nice catchable ball. You can see the natural throwing ability of Kyle Parker.
Coaches like hyperbole, Jesse, but Sweeney said there aren't 10 quarterbacks in the NFL who've got a more lively arm than Parker. You buy that?
Yeah, I do. He looks good.
Spiller trying to bounce it, and he's stacked up. Reese Davis has Sports Center right now. Reese?
All right, Chris, BMW Championship first round. Tiger shot a 68. That's 3 under par. He has 2 shots off the lead. Rory Sabatini and Steve Marino each sharing the top spot on the leaderboard. And the NFL action is getting cranked up right now. Titans and Steelers tied at 7. They are in the 3rd quarter. Sports Center coming up after the game. You can stay current with ESPN News.
We saw Morgan there in the left. It's Spiller who does a good job holding him up, but it's almost intercepted by Cedric Griffin, who read the play. So Spiller trying to block the freaky defensive end, gets the job done.
He did his job over there, but where's Derek Morgan been? Is he out of gas? You know, here was a guy that dominated one-on-one early in the first of the game.
Here's an example right here. C.J. Spiller stepping up, taking on a much bigger defender, doing a good job getting into his legs. On the flip side, Kyle Parker not putting enough air under this throw. If you're Cedric Griffin, that is a football you have to come up with. Georgia Tech is begging for a momentum shift right now.
3rd and 8, noisy. Low snap. They bring pressure, and the play blown up. The rhythm thrown off as the center rolled the ball back. Morgan was there with Cedric Griffin that time, Craig.
Absolutely he was. You know what? And this is one of those plays where the defense wisely knew they had to dial it up and come hard, right? So you give them a different look. Lots of bodies getting in the backfield.
Not going to line up for a field goal here and Pooch punt it again, are they? I mean, here's Richard Jackson. It looks like a 53-yard attempt. Tearing his back deep again, just in case. And a low driving kick. Good. I like it better as a kicker than a punter.
And I like that call by Dabo Swinney, because even if he misses that field goal, the way Clemson's defense has been playing, you think you're going to get the ball back anyway.
So a couple of field goals by Jackson here in the 3rd quarter. Look how high that was over the crossbar from 53. 27 unanswered now. Last season thought about quitting football, but his grandfather set him down this spring. Some sage words of wisdom, told him to stick with it. His teammates are glad he did. Smith again trying to make a play from the end zone. Doesn't go down, and now he's wrestled at the 14. Sprint Cup Series, Chevy Rock and Roll 400 presented by Pennzoil on ABC this Saturday night. Coverage will begin over on ESPN. NASCAR Countdown presented by Degree V12 at 7 o'clock.
Watching this Georgia Tech offense, they've lost the ability to block down on angles. This is an offense designed to take advantage of blockdowns, kickouts. They've not been able to do that because the defensive ends at Clemson have been really controlling the outside, keeping the game on the middle.
Frustrating night for Dwyer. Here's Nesbitt. Again, nothing. Brandon Thompson on the stop.
Classic example. Jesse, just see it? Watch Ricky Sapp, number 7, did exactly what I'm talking about. Here he is. Watch Sapp get up the field, keep the play inside.
Georgia Tech's offense is based on reacting to whatever the defense gives you. And if they take something away, there are not very many run plays in this Georgia Tech offense where it's predetermined someone's going to carry the football.
Tech's had bad field position as well their last 3 possessions. Yeah, late handoff to Dwyer. It wasn't the cleanest exchange from Nesbitt, but Rennie Moore takes a turn at defensive tackle, makes the stop.
Georgia Tech's inability to produce yardage, specifically on first down, has really put them behind the 8 ball. Craig, you had mentioned it earlier. It's not an offense built to deal with 3rd and 9, 3rd and 8. They are not a drop-back passing team. It's not what they do.
Not converted a single 3rd down tonight. 0 for 9. And they need 9 right now. There's a quick throw over the middle. And Allen is loose. Anthony Allen out to the 40-yard line. So a little quick pass. An easier throw for Nesbitt. Picks up 24.
And Jesse, don't you like this as a quarterback when you know that it's right in front of you? You see him up here, right here. Watch how he just kind of leaks out and right in the middle of your vision.
Anthony Allen is a guy that coaches and players have said has the best hands on the football team. So he's a guy that they want to get involved. They use him a lot over the middle of the football field. And that was just a nice job of Josh Nesbitt dropping back and getting the ball out fast into the hands of his playmaker.
Much needed first down, and now Nesbitt is loose across midfield. Scotty Cooper on the tackle. Finally some momentum for Tech.
A little tweak there. Did you see the counter steps? It looked like he was going one direction and then he came back. That took the defense away from their natural rhythm. Give them a different look. Change it up. It can't be just the dive back option.
Nesbitt behind Cox. Gets a block. Rips off another big gain.
If it works once, why not run it again? This is the exact same play they dial up the other way now. This is just going to be a quarterback lead right in the middle of the field inside that tackle box. Josh Nesbitt doing a good job getting north-south.
Okay, so Clemson says you're going to stay inside. That's what they've done. Georgia Tech said, okay, fine. I'm going to lead block with my fullback up in there. We'll stay inside. We'll block it that way.
Back-to-back 14-yard runs by the quarterback. Keeps it again, and this time they're all over him. Not 3 times in a row.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. They were going to let that happen a 3rd time in a row.
But, you know, okay, now didn't you guys feel in the rhythm of the game, the way it was going right there, run, 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 boom, where's the pass, right? That's staying, that's when you're at their advantage, the disadvantage to the defense because they're out there trying to smother that running game.
You calling for a pass right here? With the rough night that Nesbitt's had?
I'd have liked it on first down right there.
Well, the 2 picks have come on first down. Here's the keep. Hard hit near the marker. It's going to be 3rd and short.
It's there. It's there for Josh Nesbitt right now to just keep it himself and tuck it up. We have not seen the alley player in the last couple of plays now force everything back inside. They're giving Josh Nesbitt an opportunity to get outside because all of a sudden, for whatever reason, they're crashing on that dive fake.
You know what? And it's 2-down territory for Paul Johnson. There's no question about this. He's not thinking field goal. He's thinking first down.
Need a yard. 5 straight runs for Nesbitt, a first down to the 20.
And you know, again, until they stop that, Paul Johnson is going to keep dialing it up. It's the quarterback lead. It's like giving the ball to your tailback.
Josh Nesbitt needs to be careful right now. 5 straight runs. He's gassed. See how slow he was getting up the turf right there. Very easy right now to fumble balls when you're tired. You got to do a really good job focusing on ball security.
And right now is what all that summer conditioning is about, isn't it? It's Dwyer. He's smothered instantly. Jenkins and Thompson.
Did you see how fast Brandon Thompson got off the ball? He almost tackled Josh Nesbitt before he made that handoff. 305 pounds, and he exploded off this ball, Craig.
It just, you know what, it's away from him. It's an old Viking technique. There's no way that you can think that you're going to run by him. You've got to block back with that center, at least a little bit, nudge him, and then go to the linebacker level.
Thompson's got all the goods. Quick, strong, 300-pound sophomore back in his home state tonight. 10th play of the drive. 2nd and 9. Nesbitt is back. Flushed. Fires a wobbly pass over the head of Thomas.
I'm with you, Jesse, on this. I'm 100% with you that the offense is gassed, defense is gassed. It's one of those deals where you know you're in a 4-down range, and it probably would have been a good time to call timeout. Take a break. Let's regroup. 10th play. Everybody, let's get your composure.
You could see Josh second window there as he's talking to his head coach. Four in the play clock. Gotta hurry. Just get it off. Keeper. Tired legs, can't get the corner. Cooper dropped him.
You can see it. You can just see it. It's not as explosive when he finishes that ride with the running back. He's not able to really punch it outside and explode off his legs. Looking at Josh Nesbitt right now jogging off the field. He is exhausted.
On comes Scott Blair. Again, if you missed it earlier, had that touchdown pass on the fake field goal. This is from 34 yards to tie the game. Good. We promise you a close one. Clemson and Georgia Tech always deliver this. 5:40 to play, dead even.
If this is the amount of gasoline it takes to go 10 miles, this is the amount of diesel it takes to go the same distance.
After halftime, he's right. The low throw, the beautiful diving catch, and the longest touchdown reception in Jacoby Ford's career. Booted a field goal, and then Richard Jackson came out and drove a 53-yarder through. So now, what can Kyle Parker do? 5-minute, 40-second football game with a lot on the line for both teams early in this ACC season. This is Spiller. Dangerous. Dances in traffic across the 30. We talked about Parker, guys. Maybe the baseball mentality early in this game was like he struck out a couple times, hit into a double play. He's having a bad night. But that baseball experience, Jesse, maybe it works because he's played his way back into this game.
Well, if you're a hitter in baseball and you go 1 for 3, that's a good night. So he's not going to get rattled by a slow start. This has been a very multiple offense late. They've gotten the tight end involved in the passing game. C.J. Spiller, Jacoby Ford have touched the football. Kyle Parker looks really poised.
Well, I'll tell you what Parker has going for him tonight in baseball terms. He has a great relief pitcher, and it's called defense.
1 second on the play clock. It's a reverse to Ford. Did he make a man miss? No. Great job by Mario Butler stringing it out. Brad Jefferson helped him clean up. They lose 3 as they went for the home run.
You know, this is outstanding play call and an even better defensive effort by Georgia Tech's defense. Butler staying back home, as well as Brad Jefferson, linebacker, seeing it, feeling it, getting out there, and the pressure.
It's a risky play call on offense because it's feast or famine. If that play breaks outside, you're putting yourself in great position to go score. Now all of a second, because it didn't work, it's 2nd and long.
Nash in motion. Handoff inside to Ellington, and Andre Ellington, fresh legs, barrels across the 45. The freshman, 15 yards.
This here now, there's a left guard. This is a power play up the middle. Thomas Austin, watch your left guard. Watch what he does coming around, leading the way, and then the speed. Bang, run right by him.
Well, this is what I'm talking about this rotation at running back for Clemson. They got fresh legs. Andre Ellington doesn't look a whole lot different than C.J. Spiller right there.
I thought it was Spiller at first.
He's got a quick burst, doesn't he? One guy's got the ball again. 180 pounds.
Hey, while Clemson's offense may look fresh, let me tell you, that Georgia Tech defense needed every single second of that 5-minute, 53-second scoring drive by their offense. I looked at that to the sidelines, and Derek Morgan, guys, could barely stand up. He was exhausted. I got to tell you, they loved every second of that break there.
You know what? Yeah, you could see Derek Morgan in the previous series, being handled by one running back. It wouldn't have happened in the first half.
It was a short week again. They did play on Saturday. Fumble and exchange. Ball on the ground, and Clemson gets it back. Parker fortunate not to lose it.
This is when conditioning is so important. You get late into these fourth quarters. This is where all that offseason work pays off.
You know what? And it's a slow snap. The center's probably tired. Floyd just halfway gets it up to the fanny, not quite pops the hands. But this is also a part of the game where your guts and your courage and character comes to the front.
Parker, good protection, has four downfield. He beat Tarrant. And a beautiful throw.
Georgia Tech tried to put the pressure in the middle of the field, push a lot of single coverage on the outside, and they risked, and it didn't work.
But a holding penalty is bringing it back, Craig.
Woo, wow. Huge break for Georgia Tech.
38-yard play nullified.
I think if you're looking at that and you say Gerard Tarrant versus Jacoby Ford, I think if you're Georgia Tech, you like that matchup. Gerard Tarrant is an unbelievable athlete that can run with him. But we'll go back and watch it right here. You'll see 65, Thomas Austin, who's considered the best offensive lineman at Clemson, just breaking down. Maybe the fatigue setting in a little bit. Stopped moving his feet, got a little bit lazy.
He turned Ben Anderson and threw him down. I don't know. Clemson coaches, when they check the tape, probably won't like that call. And it was enormous. 3rd and 21. One of those calls in the interior of the line that lineman will tell you can make or not make at any moment, and it was a monster call. Instead of being set up inside the Tech 30, Clemson has to punt it away. And Austin, a guy with an NFL future, he said played center, moved to guard. Probably a center prospect, one of the best in the upcoming draft.
Yeah, Mel Kiper has rated him as his #1 center prospect heading into next year's draft. Unbelievable player inside.
Because of that flag, it's Clemson's first empty possession of the second half. This time Tarrant steps up, makes a fair catch, and Tech takes over inside of 3 minutes at their own 34-yard line after just a 32-yard punt. There's the Michigan spread of Rich Rodriguez. Oh, the late pitch and the touchdown run there. Now the Irish get to work on the Michigan secondary. Clausen throws it up. Receivers are good in the game, too.
Now, I was really impressed watching Michigan with Tate Forcier, how poised he was throwing the football. How about John Tenuta's defense, though? That was a pretty good Nevada offense last week. 3rd best in the nation last year. John Tenuta did a nice job dialing that up. They got a big shutout in that game.
So here we go. Nesbitt, a brief chance to rest those legs. Trying to manufacture something in the final 3 minutes. It's Dwyer. Stopped by Sapp.
That's that same old triple option deal, that dive in there, see what you can get from it. Methodical though, right, Jesse? Don't do anything crazy here.
And the key for Clemson's defense right now, play your assignment. Don't try to be a hero and go chase the ball. Ready, aim, fire, like we talked about earlier. You have to play sound right here because Georgia Tech can score on any given play.
Those 2 tackles in there, they got to push the pocket.
Misdirection, a flag is down as Allen breaks free, and now it looks like a critical call against the Jackets in the holding zone. It all evens out.
71 of the offense, 10 yards to previous spot, still 2nd down.
You know what, I look forward to seeing this replay because I think this is a bad call. You've got the defensive tackle coming down. Watch right here. I think he pushes and just knocks him down. That's not a holding. Court Howard, 71, just drilled Thompson to the ground.
Make-up call?
I don't know. What do you think?
No, I think that should be a no call. It should definitely be a no call.
What about the other hole they called on Clemson? Another no call?
Yeah, I thought that was pretty much a no call. I think that was a fatigued guy going down.
2nd and 16. Ball back inside the Tech 30 now. Nesbitt, the late pitch. Dwyer. Good job at corralling with traffic. He's still able to spin away. May and Thompson never did tackle him, but he's forced out at the 34. Sets up a 3rd and long.
One thing Kevin Steele, the defensive coordinator at Clemson, told us his middle linebacker Brandon May was going to have a big job tonight because he's playing in the middle. This option, this misdirection could work both ways. He'd be chasing plays sideline to sideline all night. He's done a very good job in showing his speed.
You got a tricky pass for me, Craig, here in 3rd and 11. Nesbitt has struggled so much.
Coach, I got an empty bucket right now with this passing offense.
You do not want a turnover down here if you're Paul Johnson, and your quarterback has not been accurate.
Very smart. You might think about that before you drop back the pass.
Watch for Anthony Allen over the middle of the field.
Freeze option. Nesbitt fires downfield to Thomas and has him. It's a sequel. Not a touchdown this time, but Chancellor beaten a year ago by Thomas with a touchdown, beaten there.
Paul Johnson had it in his pocket. He had a plan. They start motion away from the single receiver, right? Gives a man-to-man.
Demarius Thomas does a nice job. That was cover 2 by Clemson, meaning there were 2 safeties. Demarius Thompson runs toward the near safety, puts his foot in the ground, finds the soft spot between the cornerback, and a very nice throw by Josh Nesbitt.
39 yards, his 3rd catch. Nesbitt follows a blocker, hammers inside the 25. Clock ticking now. Stopped at 1:15 to play. They'll take a timeout. Remember, field goal kicker Scott Blair has never made a field goal in his career longer than 40. Right now would be right about a 41-yarder. So to feel comfortable, Johnson needs to get more real estate.
And he needs to start working the football into the middle of the field. He has to start play calling these run plays designed to set the football up in the middle of the field to give his field goal kicker the best opportunity.
Will it come down to Blair? Is that a big night? Big game Saturday night. USC and Ohio State. It's on ESPN. 8 o'clock Eastern time. Presented by Hampton Hotels. Big implications for Ohio State and the Big Ten. And of course, USC's national championship hopes.
How about Josh Nesbitt? He was 3 of 13 with 2 picks before that last throw to Demarius Thomas. And when they need it most, he makes a big play.
I tell you, that was stepping up. The play I like to get it back to the middle of the field, the slot back on the left side to the wide side of the field where he leads into the inside. It's the quarterback, like a quarterback draw back up into the inside of the field. I like that. It's worked several times.
Ball security right now at a premium if you're Georgia Tech.
And if they're going 0 for 9 on 3rd down, guys, they've converted 3 big 3rd downs. A misdirection. Dwyer didn't fool Clemson. They keep it on the right hash, and he picks up just a couple.
Okay, so what that's saying there is the kicker feels better from the right hash. Paul Johnson knows his kicker. That's where he wants to be. He's going to stay over there.
And how about Clemson playing the chess match right now? They're calling timeouts, anticipating a chance to get the football back, giving themselves an opportunity to get back on the scoreboard.
Chris, you know how important this game is for Georgia Tech. Here's a football team that came out of the gate, 21 points in the first quarter. And if they were to go on and lose this game after that early start, fast start like they had, Clemson was run out of the park. Man, that could be a real decleater for a long time.
Georgia Tech is getting ready to play a very tough stretch of football games. They'll travel to Miami. UNC will come home, at Mississippi State, at Florida State, before getting Virginia Tech at home. That's a tough stretch. They have to start it off strong by getting a big win here tonight.
Got to go back more than 2 decades in Tech football history to find a game they've lost after leading by 24 points, Greg. So you're right. So much at stake. Conference game. I think they need to get a little bit closer to make everybody in the Tech side feel comfortable about Scott Blair's field goal chances. 3rd and 5. Nesbitt dives short of the 1st down. Brandon May stopped him. Clock stopped at 1:01 as Clemson again spends a timeout.
If you're the 15th ranked team in the country, you're supposed to have a kicker that can make a 35-yard field goal.
He's very good under 40. Only missed one in his career, inside 40. But they've got him into the comfort zone now.
Well, it's really interesting to me here, setting this thing up on the right hash. Obviously, knowing his kicker well, you'd think a lot of kickers would rather kick it right from the middle of the football field. There's no wind right now at all. You look at these goalposts and the flags, there is no wind at all, nothing to move this football in the air. If you're a right-footed kicker, I guess it's natural to draw the football right to left. Maybe that's why you like it on the right hash.
Scott Blair is a junior. Again, threw a touchdown pass on a fake field goal earlier. Knocked a couple through the uprights. Very reliable from this distance.
I like the clock management by Dabo Swinney and Clemson because they've given themselves a chance, and with their return team and Spiller and Ford back there, they have a great chance to get excellent field position after the kick if he makes it.
And there's 4th and 1, and the offense is on the field. Nesbitt under center, not the kicker. Trying to draw him 5 yards closer. Little bit of a wrinkle trying to get Blair 5 yards closer. Clemson wouldn't bite.
Twice in this game, we've seen Kevin Still's defense wisely set in their haunches and not jump off sides.
Now, wait a second. We talked up Blair's accuracy inside 40. Surely they're not going to go for it from that distance.
I'll tell you right now, if you're Kyle Parker on the sideline of Clemson, I'd be rallying everybody together on offense, and I'd start talking about some 2-minute ideas, some plays. Get a list of things you want to go through your mind because you're not going to have a lot of timeouts. You're going to be up at the line of scrimmage running fast. I'd have everybody around me right now rallying the guys saying, guys, look, get ready for this. I'm calling this. Wide receivers, get ready to line up here because, man, we're going.
You heard Aaron earlier in her report said that nobody really was around Parker talking to him. Maybe he's just one of those cats that likes to be by himself. He's got his own Nintendo game going on up there.
So here's Blair. Good marksman from inside 40 yards. This from 36. Does what you expect him to do, make short field goals, and what you don't expect him to do, a touchdown pass tonight. And Clemson behind again. They trail by 3 with 57 seconds.
And he had a little draw on this kick. I mean, Paul Johnson, they know. Watch the ball at the top, how it just kind of trajects back towards the middle. Look at the draw. If that ball's in the middle of the field, does it make it?
It'd be close. Dabo says, doggone it.
I love when coaches do that.
English. You like that?
I love when coaches, when a kick's trying to be made, the coach kind of gives you the quick little pitching wedge.
You pull the buttocks muscle.
It always seems to come down to this when these two teams get together. A late defensive stand or a touchdown pass to win it.
How about the Georgia Tech offense the last couple series now? They were stalling early. They put together a 12-play drive to kick a field goal on their last series. This last series, they go 7 plays to get another 3 points.
This guy here, Craig, second college game, redshirt freshman, first road game, national TV, conference game, all that stuff.
All plays into it. Now the question is, what does Georgia Tech do to keep the ball away from Parker or put it deep? Do you squib one down there and take the chance that it's at the 30 or 35? If you kick it deep and you get it in the hands of Spiller, you got a chance the guy goes back to midfield at least.
What you don't do is what they did on the opening kick of the game. You do not kick this out of bounds and give Clemson the football on their 40.
Easy game, isn't it?
Blair, one more important play to make in this game, the kickoff. Squibbs down to Ford. Not your typical up man. But they corral his world-class speed at the 30. If you're going to squib it, you don't want to get into the fastest guy in football, but Did a good job covering.
So this special teams unit and the kick coverage, which was pretty good last year, they really showed up when they had to show up.
If you're Kyle Parker right now, any quarterback will tell you when you start a 2-minute drive, you want to start with a completion. Doesn't need to be for a first down, but you have to get the ball going.
Tigers just one timeout. Ford is well covered, and he'll throw it away. I'm going to tell you, Dave Womack on his side, Craig, you got to keep an eye on number 6, don't you?
You see where he went, Chris? He went to the middle of the field. He was on the left slot, inside slot. He went to the middle, and that's who Parker was hollering at, Jesse. He was trying to get him to turn and go deep.
It's Spiller to the left of Parker. Short throw in the sidelines, incomplete. Allen couldn't come up with it.
I'll say that. That's actually a good thing. Dwayne Allen did not catch that football. Had he caught it, he was still in bounds, and the clock would still be rolling. That may have been a 5-yard gain. It's not worth making that catch.
Would have had it burned the last time out, probably.
Yeah. To answer your question about a freshman coming in this environment right now, I don't think he's understood the situation. He asked for his receiver to go deep. Work the chains. The clock stops. I'm not sure he was quite in tune with the management of the chains.
Third down. Hit as he throws. Gets it deep. Spiller in a one-on-one battle. Tarrant broke it up. Abunaway got to Parker just as he tried to release the ball. What a battle downfield between speedsters.
Between probably the two best athletes on the field. And here's Kyle Parker stepping up, doing a nice job. Wow, he pays for that after the throw. And this is just who wants the football more. Gerard Tarrant, though, doing a nice job out-competing C.J. Spiller for the football.
Fourth down. Clemson's offense on the field.
You see the umbrella that they've got there. They're going to try to keep it in front of them and force the 5-yard toss.
Parker fires across the middle. Incomplete. Bounce to Spiller. And Tech's going to hang on. Great effort by Clemson to fight back. Got even. But Tech, a clutch drive when they needed it, and a big defensive stand.
This time, Clemson double teams Garrett Morgan coming off the edge. That allowed Kyle Parker to get outside. He did a nice job buying time. He had a wide open target downfield, and C.J. Spiller just not able to complete the throw.
Spiller kept under wraps as a runner. 87 yards. Any Clemson opponent will take that any time. Victory formation for the Jackets.
This was a game, Chris, where we mentioned it just a moment ago. Georgia Tech had a whole lot to lose had they blown that massive lead. I will say this, Dabo Swinney, who I thought was out-coached in the first half, brought his groups back. They showed heart, character, and courage to get back in this game.
This is the most competitive series in the ACC. We talk a lot about parity. This is now the 11th time in the last 14 games that an outcome has been decided by less than 5 points.
But for the 5th time in the last 6 years, it is Georgia Tech on the winning side in this backyard rivalry, off on the good foot in the ACC, and we'll see him a week from tonight down there against the rejuvenated Canes of Miami.
I've already had Wes McGriff, the secondary coach for Miami, texting me saying, hey, brother, y'all look good, sound good. I'm scouting the game. We're looking forward to this ball game next Thursday.
It's always crazy in the ACC. They may not have a super national title contender. Who knows? But all the teams are closely bunched, and the games are very competitive. And Scott Blair, our Wrangler player of the game, threw that touchdown pass 3 for 3, including the game winner.
All-around effort from Scott Blair. Certainly you wouldn't expect a touchdown pass on the stat chart, but he really did it all. And he did a good job on the kickoffs as well.
Paul Johnson can deep breathe.